So nothing is in my hand. Now you have to control.
Dreams of a sustainable world, woven with the threads of knowledge and action. Illuminate our path to a brighter future. A very warm welcome to all esteemed dignitaries, distinguished speakers, and respected attendees joining us today in training, organized by Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council and IVRF India. This event stands as a bunch of knowledge brings together visionaries, scholars, and change makers who are shaping the future through the remarkable contributions to diversity. It is truly an honor to be moderating this prestigious event where we all will delve into the most pressing global challenges and the impactful solutions knowledge by our eminent speaker. So let's initiate the insightful journey together. Let me call now to officially commence this dreadful conference. It is my privilege to always extend a warm welcome to my dear, respected Dr. Caroline Ma'am, an exceptional leader and esteemed managing director of the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council.
Thank you very much for inviting me, Madhavi Bose. Always, you are so beautiful and pleasure to see you on our platform, especially. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the eminent global speakers, chief guest, honorable guest, guest of honors, and global leaders, and my lovely moderator, Madhavi Bose. Namaste from India. I'm Dr. Caroline, Managing Director of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Professor teaching environmental science and English for engineering graduates, and a counseling psychologist dealing counseling issues, that is mental illness as well as emotional illness. I'll be dealing and I'll be counseling students, family members. Especially, I would like to say about our organization, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, where we mainly focus on world peace. Our motto is to establish peace in the minds of the citizen of every nation. Individually, if the person is peaceful, that will be expanded to the world. So we conducted 3 World Peace Summit, where we invited all eminent guest speakers globally, and they have presented their insights and views. We appreciate them for their works. And we also conducted 200 above webinars on sustainable development goals. So next, our focus is on sustainable development goals. So based on these, we conducted about 200 webinars, especially on sustainable development goals from 1 to 17. And whatever we said on the Zoom platform, that we tried our best level to conduct physically. We conducted many activities in the underprivileged community to uplift the vulnerable so that they can have a peaceful life. If they are in a great disturbance, if the minds are in shattered condition, definitely they create some panic in any area that will be expanded to different areas. So that's why we focused on the underprivileged community, and under the umbrella of Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, we have 2 organizations. One is Telangana Kala Parishad, mainly focus on the cultural exchange. The other organization is the Life Foundation, which I'm running. It is an NGO registered under the government of Telangana. We adopted almost 550 acres of slums there, we have seen their lives in more vulnerable condition, and the girl children were trapped, raped, and brutally they were killed. So after noticing such cases, I started visiting slums regularly. I observed the conditions, and me and Rajarao sir established slum study centers in the slums, where education only can bring a tremendous transformation in the lives of the vulnerable, especially the younger generation. If we educate them, if they teach them what is good and bad, they become the perfect citizens of our country, and definitely they support the nation in having a peaceful environment. We started the study center, one study center with the students almost 30 around. Now with a great happiness, I can declare that we established four study centers and almost 300 students getting education, free study centers. And there, as a counseling psychologist, I started counseling them, teaching about the good and bad touch. And now our students know how to protect themselves as well. They're teaching their neighbors, their students, fellow students, how to protect themselves. And we are teaching boys to have good education, and especially boys, we are teaching such a way they have to protect the girl children, their responsibility to take care of the girl children. In this way, we are sowing the seeds of protection, especially educating girl children, protecting girl children, even in the minds of the boys. And these boys take a lot of care, take the girl children to their houses safely, they are sending home. So not even one rape case was noticed till now. So I'm very happy. In this way, Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council is trying its best level. What we say on the Zoom platform, that is, we are trying to accomplish on the earth at our level. And also we believe women is empowered. Definitely the family will be empowered. If one girl child is educated, the five members will be educated in the family. We believe in that. We started encouraging the women to have self-sustainable life, and we started a free tailoring center with the one sewing machine, now 10 sewing machines, and almost 30 women, they are able to start their tailoring centers and leading. And we are trying our best level to have more number of such kind of activities in the slums to empower women, girl children, and boys. So Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council focusing on the underprivileged community and focusing on the education, focusing on the women empowerment, and we're educating them to maintain their slums clean and tidy. They are picking up the rags, trash, everything, and trying their best level to dump in the places where they are supposed to dump in the bins. So in this way, the trash bins, we are teaching them, educating them, and what we teach on the in the webinars, the Zoom platform, we are implementing physically. So we are focusing on the sustainable development goals at our level. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Namaste from India.
Thank you so much, Excellency Professor Dr. Caroline, for your enlightening words and for setting the stage for the impeccable knowledge exchange. Your vision and leadership continues to inspire us all. Now it's time to move ahead. We are privileged to have with us a visionary leader in technology-driven education, Professor Samir Mukherjee, the esteemed founder and CEO of IVRF and founder and mentor of VRAR Academia and Drone Academia India. Sir, the next 5 minutes are all yours.
Thank
Professor
you.
Samir, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Absolutely, sir. Yeah.
Thank you, moderator ma'am. Thank you to introduce everyone in this gathering. Respected faculties, respected guests, and gentlemen and ladies. A very good evening from India and rest of the part of the globe, maybe morning or afternoon or whatever. Okay. Today we are discussing sustainable development, basically sustainable development goals, SDGs, a set of 17 objectives established by the United Nations in 2015 to tackle global challenges such as poverty, inequality, and the climate change, more or less in these three. Now, this is again a mission with 2030 deadline, which is approaching very fast. It is imperative that we act swiftly and collaboratively, achieving these goals, necessities, and other concerned things, efforts with the governments, with the business people, with the civil societies, and individual like you. In the context of India, I am telling you something. SDG training holds particularly three areas, different areas, that development, to do the development, you have or we face many challenges. To redress the challenges, that is one of the biggest issue here. Similarly, we have certain objectives. Definitely, you know that objectives and other things. What I'll do, probably I will talk at the end. So that time we will discuss about the different kind of a typical objectives, what we are not at all using here in India or in some other countries. And out of that exercise, we are doing this exercise. Dr. Kyle already said that some 48 or 50, this or more than that. I can't remember that time I just joined. We have that kind of meetings. See, number game is number game. What we did, how many job, what education upliftment, what hospital. That is one of the big issue. We need data. For every aspect, we need data, and that gradually growing up. We have to prove it. That's gradually growing up. Unfortunately, India is in a very lower stage. I don't want to put that number, what number of what our number is, but that is one of the biggest issue at this moment. So let's work together. Again, I'm telling you, it's a collaborative activities. Let's join hand. Dr. Raja Rao taken a very good and very interesting initiative. By the way, Dr. Ankur Chaturvedi is also taken a very interesting part of this, that education part of it, kind of mostly diploma course in this in India. He is trying a lot. So like this kind of activities, if we have many, we will definitely seriously want a huge success of this. Thank all the faculties, all the faculty member, and all the people here, all the people who are connected in the streaming also. Thank you once again.
Immense thanks to you, Professor Mukherjee, for your insightful forward, which has beautifully outlined the significance of today's proceeding. Your expertise and contribution to futuristic learning continues to shape global educational landscape. So now it's time to hear from our esteemed chief guest, a dynamic leader in the field of ESG operations, qualities, and sustainability. It's an honor to welcome Dr. Ankur Chaturvedi, the distinguished ESG lead, AVP Operation Quality and HSE and Imami Limited, India. Sir, the next 10 minutes are all yours. Over to you, respected excellence.
Thank you very much, Dr. Madhvi. Thank you to all the esteemed guests here. Thank you, Professor Mukherjee, Dr. Rama Rao, and everyone who's here. It's an honor to be associated with a platform like this. SDGs are not only, they are something which has become the need of the hour today. When I look at it from a very Indian perspective, development unfortunately has meant getting away from the earth, traditional knowledge, traditional lifestyles, which were much more sustainable, are progressively being lost. And the measure of success is about how unsustainable you are. I say this quite often, and I believe in this very firmly, that whatever makes you comfortable makes everything around you uncomfortable, may it be the environment or the people. Now, we have started taking more, and I'm very proud and fortunate to be in India, which is today the growth engine of the world. The pace of growth of our economy is phenomenal. That's very good and encouraging. But at the same time, that's also leading to exponential increase in consumption. As long as it is consumption, it's okay. Unfortunately, it is also leading to a huge wastage. Now, one thing which keeps coming up is that per capita use of resources in India, even today, is much less than most of. Now, does that give us a license to use more resources and resources? Or does it to get to the same level of development with a lesser level of losses? It's programs like these help us think on those lines, not just in India, but across the globe. I once again thank IVRF, Dr. Rao, and all the people involved in this for this exceptional endeavor of spreading knowledge about SDG. I'm sure the first step to any action is knowledge, and this is definitely going to create meaningful change. Thank you very much.
Heartfelt gratitude to you, Dr. Chaturvedi, for your compelling insights, for sharing your invaluable perspectives on sustainability. Your expertise and dedication to environmental, social, and governance initiatives are truly commendable, and it serves as an all of us like motivation and inspiration for all. Thank you so much once again. Now, we are honored to have among us a distinguished global leader, an inspiring entrepreneur, and a visionary mentor. It's my privilege to welcome Ms. Veronica Kibben, the esteemed CEO of Business and Power Academy, Netherlands. Inspector ma'am, are you there with us? Okay. So we have Jaita Rao ma'am? Yeah, Jaita Rao ma'am. So next we have the privilege to welcome the highly accomplished and award-winning marketing advisor whose expertise has made a remarkable impact in the field. It's an honor to introduce Ms. Jaita Rao ma'am, a distinguished leader and expert in marketing strategies for sustainable development. My dear Excellency, the next 5 minutes are all yours.
I don't think I would take 5 minutes. Anyway, hi, this is Joita here. I am basically doing research after working in CSRs of the corporates and seeing how they are
Ma'am, your
misusing.
your
Oh, my voice is not audible? Is it audible
now
now,
better.
sir?
Now it's audible.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, hi, this is Joita. I am right now located in Sweden. I'm doing research work in biodiversity, sustainability, AI, and CSR. This is my subject combination. So I am working for Swedish government right now. I shifted to research because I have seen how CSR funds go waste in India. I have been working in India for like from 1999 to 2019. long 20 years, I have been in India working with the marketings and the CSR funds, and I have seen how it goes west. So, actually, what we are trying to do in accordance with the CSR funding, like how it can be a process, like it is something like the CSRs are in two kinds, as we know. Like one is like in a form of donation, another one we know is known as the in-kind CSR. So my part of the job deals with like how in-kind CSR can benefit to the corporates in the section where they can actually reduce taxations and show that in the monetary value, but actually can pave a path where, as it was like, Dr. Ankur Chaturvedi was explaining about the necessity of today and the trash that we are generating. And then, in that same manner, Professor Samir Mukherjee was talking about the data. As for India, after 2017, we do not have any data to gather and correlate with. So, my job basically here stands with the waste amount, exponential waste amount that is being generated by throwing away electronic parts, which could be repaired or could be reused in the path of in-kind CSR and could be repaired and redistributed to the countries where they need actually educational purposes. Distance education is the new in thing. After COVID, everybody is working with in hybrid model or in distance education. So this is the path where we are claiming the SDGs. So this is actually going to mark up a few places like reduction of the waste, education part, and once the education is there, health and poverty. These two things also get curtails out. So this is the whole project that I am right now working in. And regarding the slum rape cases that Dr. Caroline has mentioned, I'm really glad because my past, uh, before like 1.5 years ago, probably, I did a research on this rape cases in India, covering quite a few case studies, and that book got published. And the rape cases publication actually showed how in India the patriarchy and conservatism, these are the two basic things which are basically increasing the rape cases. So I joined late, but whatever I have heard, the three people I had heard and three legions I have heard right now, I was just jotting down in which way I could correlate. So this is what my subject is all about. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Inspector Roy, ma'am, for your valuable thoughts and for shedding light on the crucial role of marketing as well as driving those sustainable initiative, which is actually uh, we are needed for this. So your insights have truly enriched in our understanding of our strategic communication to contribute to the global progress. Thanks, Miriam. Now we have forward to our first expert talk, SDG1. No poverty, a fundamental goal aimed at eradicating poverty in all its forms. To enlighten us this crucial topic, we have with us an esteemed educator and a global advocate for social change, none other my respected Dr. Rani Lumpur, ma'am, the Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs, Greece. Ma'am, the next 7 minutes are all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Matfi. Warm greetings, everyone from Athens, from Greece, on the Greek Ministry of Education. I'm still here in the office. It's both an honor and a privilege to welcome you all, me too, to this great the National Conference on SDG. And I would like to congratulate all organizers of this For Humanity United International Royal Council, of course, Dr. Caroline, Dr. Raja Rao. Warmly thank you for the kind invitation. And I think that today we are actually gathered with a shared vision, rooted in the United Nations Sustainable Goals. And of course, this conference is a testament to the power of collective action and the role that education and training play in equipping leaders, practitioners, and communities with the skills and knowledge necessary to address the global challenges. So today we'll focus on the SDG 1 on poverty, because poverty remains actually one of the most pervasive and persistent challenges of our times. In my country also, there is, because of the impact of the financial crisis of many years, so we have many high rates of unemployment, austerity measures, economic recession, and it's actually a problem we need to focus on today. While the world has made remarkable strides towards reducing extreme poverty, we're still facing the sobering reality that millions of people around the world struggle to meet even the most basic of human needs. So SDG 1 calls for us to end poverty in all its form everywhere, a goal that it's not just ambitious, but essential to building a fair, more just and sustainable future. So if it's possible for me to share my presentation now. Is it visible now?
Yes, it's visible, ma'am.
Okay. So, in the spirit of what Dr. Caroline mentioned about the slums, I want to focus today on the urban poverty, the growing challenges of slums and informal settlements. Of course, more or less, we're aware of all the targets of SDG 1. It's about reducing poverty by at least 50%, eradicate poverty, implement social protection systems, mobilize resources to implement policies. Of course, it's about equal access to services, technology, economic resources, how to build resilience to environmental social disasters. And if we see here the statistics, what is happening, unfortunately, still, if these current trends continue by 2030, 575 million people will still be living in extreme poverty. Only 1/3 of countries will have halved the national poverty levels. And also, many of the world vulnerable population remain uncovered in by social protection. So when we talk about this urban poverty, the key drivers of this have to do with massive rural to urban. Of course, migration is one of the most primary, the most important causes of urban poverty, because people move to cities in search of better economic opportunities, but cities often lack the infrastructure and services to accommodate the influx. Cities are often marked by stark economic inequality, where the rich enjoy most of the resources and the poor are left with minimal access to opportunities. Despite the perception that cities offer more job opportunities, many urban residents, especially migrants, face high levels of unemployment or underemployment. Of course, there is a lack of affordable house, inadequate urban planning and infrastructure, social exclusion, marginalization, especially for vulnerable groups like women or ethnic minorities, which face discrimination. And the weak governance, of course, the lack of political will, and the fact that urban slum dwellers are particularly vulnerable to environmental hazards such as flooding or landslides, extreme weather events, due to living in precarious areas such as riverbanks, hillsides, etc. We have the continued growth of slums despite urban development initiatives. Why this is happening? Because there are mismatched priorities in urban development. Urban development initiatives often prioritize economic growth, real estate development, and infrastructure projects over affordable housing and services for the poor. Many initiatives fail to provide sufficient affordable housing solutions. Slum upgrading programs, when they're implemented, are often piecemeal or insufficiently funded, so they may focus on temporary improvements. There's a lack of, I mentioned before, of policy focus and political will. The migration and population pressure, the insecure land tenure, because the absence of secure land tenure in slums make it difficult for residents to invest in permanent infrastructure housing improvements. And urban development also initiatives may be fragmented across different sectors or levels of a government, leading to a lack of coordination in addressing the complex issues of urban poverty. The main difference, more or less, if we talk about urban areas, poverty is often linked to unemployment. On the other hand, rural poverty is largely driven by a lack of access to productive assets like land, livestock, and tools. So in urban areas, poor populations may live in slums or informal settlements with limited access to affordable health care. On the other hand, in rural areas, basic services are often either unavailable or extremely limited. Some differences here. Urban poverty is closely linked to inadequate housing. Rural poverty here is housing is generally less of a challenge in rural areas, as the cost of land is lower and many people own their homes. The cost of living is generally higher in urban areas. Of course, the issue of social networks is different, environmental vulnerability, because the urban poor, especially in slums, are vulnerable to environmental risks like pollution, exposure to hazardous waste, etc. So what is the influence on poverty reduction strategies? This is related with tailored approach. We need more tailored approach, integrated solutions, and inclusive policy design. So the strategies to ensure access to affordable healthcare, education, basic services for the urban poor has to do with always pro-poor policies, subsidized services, how to strengthen community-based healthcare programs, how to provide affordable, accessible education, leveraging technology, also very important, expand social protection programs, invest in basic infrastructure for informal settlements, and of course, enhance public-private partnerships, promote universal healthcare coverage, establish community learning and resource centers, and engage local communities in planning and decision making. Some case studies have to do with the lessons learned already from some cases where programs that actually involve the residents in decision making. So we talk about community involvement. This is a case study and lesson learned. In Brazil, Rio de Janeiro, we have many cases of projects who try to regularize land ownership for residents, allowing them to legally occupy the land, which led to more permanent housing and infrastructure improvements. And then some other programs about slum sanitation program. They install community toilets, improving sanitation for millions. All these lessons showed actually that we need a collaboration of all key stakeholders, more integrated urban planning, and of course, provide access to social services for all. Technology plays an important role here and innovation because technology such as, for example, smart water management systems or off-grid solar energy systems, telemedicine, mobile health clinics, or we talk about the housing infrastructure, innovative construction techniques like 3D printing, prefabricated building materials can create low-cost and durable housing. Digital mapping technologies, data-driven urban planning tools can help city planners design more inclusive, sustainable societies. The e-learning platforms, the financial inclusion, mobile banking, community engagement and advocacy through mobile apps, and of course, more waste management solutions using technology, green technologies, and entrepreneurship also, and in disaster resilience. So by concluding, to say how can urban planners design cities in order to accommodate rapid urbanization, but without marginalizing the urban poor. How this can happen? By adopting inclusive zoning policies, as we say. So we talk about mixed income housing developments, which integrate affordable housing with market rate housing to avoid spatial segregation of low income communities, more flexible zoning laws, subsidized rental programs or rent controls. Transit-oriented development, very important, because this ensures that urban expansion is centered around efficient, affordable public transport systems, so this can help reduce the isolation of poor communities on the urban periphery. In situ upgrading of informal settlements, this has to do with providing basic infrastructure and water sanitation by securing land tenure to give residents legal rights to their homes, therefore reducing eviction risks and encouraging, of course, community participation in the upgrading process, ensuring that solutions reflect local needs and priorities. Of course, proper land policies, preventing speculative land markets, allocating public land, implementing land pooling and readjustment strategies where landowners contribute part of the land for public infrastructure in exchange for improved value. Sustainable infrastructure, expanding infrastructure networks, use low-cost decentralized infrastructure systems where possible, such as solar energy or community water system, local waste management. And of course, including marginalized groups in urban planning processes is vital. So we need to implement participatory budgeting, strengthen local governance, and establish clear land use regulations that prevent informal sprawl while promoting the creation of affordable housing. Job creation is important also by designing economic hubs close to affordable housing, allowing for shorter commutes. The greener resilient urbanisms promote green spaces, implement climate resilient infrastructure, and managing urban growth with regional planning. So, by concluding, I want to say that let us remember that the fight against the poverty is not an isolated struggle. It is connected actually to every aspect of sustainable development, from health to education to gender equality. That's why we talk about the connectedness between SDG. One SDG influence the other. And together, through our shared commitment, I think we can contribute meaningfully to a world where there's no one left behind. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your attention. For any question, nothing to discuss. Unfortunately, my country, as I mentioned before, because of the economic crisis, economic recessions for 10 years, this problem still remains. This is one of the main challenges in Greece, although it's a European country. But I think that we are on the right track if we implement the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Thanks and appreciation, Dr. For your thought-provoking insights on poverty elevation and strategies. Your dedication to education and social upliftment is truly inspiring, and your words have given a deeper understanding of the collective efforts which we have made in this and required to achieve the poverty-free world. Hunger remains one of the most pressing challenge of our time, and achieving SDG 2, zero hunger is vital for global sustainability. To share this expertise on the critical issue, we are honored to welcome Dr. Dragan Jovinov, a distinguished scientist and agriculturist from Macedonia, whose research and contribution in agriculture sustainability are truly commendable. I would request, my dear All Excellency, we really love to hear each one of you, but we have concise time and we want to give a chance to everybody. And I'm not there to interrupt you. So please, I really request you, let's go with the time. Over to you, my dear respected sir. The next 6 minutes are all yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Madvi. Hello, everyone. It's an honor for me to be part of this conference. I will speak only without a presentation. I think there is not need for a presentation for this zero hunger model. Everyone knows with what will be discussed in 5 minutes, as much as is allowed for the most important things. I will be speaking about zero hunger and what are the targets for my country, Macedonia, in the section. To end hunger, achieve food security, improve nutrition, as well as promote sustainable agriculture. By 2030, end all forms of malnutrition and address the nutritional needs of adolescent girls, pregnant and lactating women, and other persons. By 2030, double agriculture production incomes of small-scale food procedures. By 2030, ensure a sustainable food production system and implement resilient agriculture practices that increase productivity and production, help maintain ecosystems, and strengthen the capacity for adaptation to climate change. By 2030, maintain the genetic diversity of seeds, cultivate plants and farmed livestock, and their wild relatives taught appropriate management of diverse seed and plants bank and national, regional, and international levels. Increase investments, including toward engaged international corporation in rural infrastructure and agriculture research and support service for farmers. Thank you very much.
Deepest appreciation. After a long time, sir, I have heard you, and it's a profound insights always when into sustainable agriculture and food security. So your expertise always provided us a deeper understanding and how innovative solutions you all are giving. And when it comes to agroecology, I think that I should suggest there are rare things when we can think about it, but this is actually what crucial can help combat hunger and ensure a nourished future for all. Good health and well-being are fundamental to sustainable development, and SDG 3 aims to ensure healthy lives for all. To provide us with valuable insights on this topic, we are privileged to welcome Mr. Alan Tufikov, the team director of ETSOL Australia, is a visionary leader and dedicated to enhancing healthcare solution. My dear respected sir, the 6 minutes are all yours.
Thank you very much. What I'll do is I'll start the PowerPoint off first, and then we can have a general discussion afterwards. Okay, so oops. Okay, so as I said, I'm from Australia. You're right. So what we're talking about tonight is SDG 3. And the main thing about these is that every SDG is interrelated to good health. All must start to appreciate these links and to work out how to use them. We talked before about traditional. The ancestors recognised many of these links and respected nature and its environment. However, the ancient practices, techniques are being forgotten or were being forgotten, but they're starting to get a lot of modernisation at the moment. The main issue, though, is that we've got issues in relation to there's no one answer for everybody. You've got to have language, you've got to have religion, culture, accessibility, expectations, education, willingness to be involved, the capacity to support implementation and exclusivity. This is what a lot of the ancient stuff was about, and we're starting to re-look at these things and go, maybe they had some of these things right. If you actually look at a lot of the modern techniques, a lot of them are actually based on traditional medicines and traditional practices. And when you look at certainly 60% of the world's population is located within Asia, it does make sense to have a lot of this happening. So we've got a lot of commonalities there because there's a lot of principles which are exactly the same. Generally, people don't like to be in pain or they don't like to see anybody in pain. People have sought answers to address these issues since the dawn of time. Inner wellness is widely appreciated as being significant ingredients in gaining relief and wellness. As we said before, traditional practices are widely practiced across the globe, and they have now been incorporated into a lot of so-called modern practices. The UN's goals recognise the importance of health and wellness in our daily lives. I tend to believe that all of the SDGs, you look at the title, not so much the stuff at the back, because there's no one answer that fits everybody. So you've got to look at the title and say health and wellness in this particular case. That's our daily lives. And they also recognise that health and wellness is linked to our environment and our economic health. Without the wellness of communities, economies can't reach their full potential. With a cleaner, healthier environment, communities can try to reach their potential. So when we're looking at these issues and how they're linked together, it's true that an investment in achieving health and wellness has a multiplying positive effect in reaching the benefits. In other words, investing in health and wellness has an economic stimulus. It's also true that by achieving better value in the investment in health and welfare, we have many more positive effects. The target investment produces positive results. If better value can be delivered, then the multiplying effect can be valuable. But what is it that we talk about with value? Well, when we identify the SDG issues at the beginning, we understand about a lot of these things. And so let's deal with one of them. We talked about enhancing the compliance of the goals with it. If you're dealing in health, poverty is a key link to better health. Education in hunger is an issue in relation to health. Better education, better water and sanitary, decent working conditions, innovations and infrastructure, sustainable cities, climate action, including healthier waters, land, air, greater engagement with global opportunities and services, and an increase in economic opportunities. If these things are working, then health and welfare is not only part of the solution, it's enhanced by the solutions. So, as we said, a single investment has an automatic and significant increase in the overall scheme of things, but it also creates savings as waste is reduced and benefits are created. The specific common comment about climate action, SDGs 13 to 15, was the basis of outcomes from 3 research areas show the effects of poor built environments and poor technology and poor natural environments on how we actually deal with things. So the issues of providing effective treatments to improve health wellness is understood. The value achieved by improving wellness is understood. The wellness treatments are well understood from history. The effect from inner wellness is also dealing, as we said before, in the modern treatments. We've got to be prepared to embrace what we already understand. As I said, 60% of the world's population lives in Asia. 30% of the world's population, 26% of the world's population doesn't have access to good electricity, though. So technology is not always the answer. When we understand the principles of SDGs, we have to look at tools to identify and integrate knowledge and data to create an environment to monitor, review, and implement SDG initiatives. An SDG initiative does not have a finite timeline. It starts from day dot and finishes somewhere in the future because compliance with SDG is change. So we have to have something like what I developed during COVID, which is Mappers, where you try to bring together all the stakeholders to start talking and to understand what's got to be done about health and welfare and how each of these things is linked and how they will go forward and backward. But we've got to be able to review it, make sure it's working, make sure it's the right answers at the time. But then later on, it's not going to be the right answer because it's already changed as a result of it. I've put in there a couple of research findings from 2020 during the COVID period, where in Europe, in the European, 1 in 8 deaths was linked to pollution. 1 in 8 deaths. So I won't hold up for too much longer because I can talk about this for a long, long time. But what nature creates can't be copied, but it needs to be respected. And between us, then we will manage to try to link together to result in an effective way of achieving the results. So thank you for that period of time. It's a topic, as I said, I could talk about for quite some time, but I won't. Thank you.
Boundless gratitude to you, sir, for enlightening your perspectives on healthcare innovations, which has offered invaluable knowledge on how to build a healthier and more sustainable world. Education is the cornerstone of sustainable development, empowering individual and transforming society. To enlighten us on SDG 4 quality education, we are honored to welcome Dr. Tanmay Agarwal, sir, a distinguished professor of law and AI, SDG enthusiast and soft skill trainer. Sir, the next 6 minutes are all yours.
Thank you so much, Raja Rao sir. This initiative that you have been taking with regard to sustainable development is very close to my heart personally. Although I'm an academician of law, but if asked to me what are your 2 major thrust and key areas of interest, I would always say sustainable development goals and artificial intelligence. So today I have the opportunity of sharing both of these things with you in a very interesting way. I assume that we all understand that artificial intelligence is so much interconnected with us in today's world. and it has a lot of impact in the education that is going to happen, right? So I'm sure that all of the parents understand the modes in which their students are learning right now, their kids are learning. Most of the content has been derived from ChatGPT. Yes. So AI is rampantly changing the pace at which the whole world is actually learning. So that actually makes a lot of impact and difference on how we should be cautious about it, because with the boons like AI, we also have some challenges that we should be taking care of with regard to it. And I have a brief presentation to share with all of you that would cater to the exact theme that we're looking forward to, which is quality education, which is the SDG number 4. And there I start with my presentation. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. All right. Yeah. So this is the exact topic: AI-powered learning, advancing SDG 4, inclusive and the education. If you check out the word which is inclusive, it's that everyone should be be able to have the education. All right. We do not mean to have education as the only means for a chosen few, but everyone should be able to have education, and that too, what kind of education? Amazing quality education, and equally to everyone. Right. So I started by a quote that says that education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world, as said by Nelson Mandela. Right. So our education has to be qualitative, as well as it should be also inculcating lifelong learning. With this platform as today, we all are indulging in lifelong learning process, right? We do not say that yes, now I have achieved a doctorate, which is the highest degree, but of learning, but even still we keep on learning. That ensures lifelong learning, and with only that you can do business, you can earn money, you can make a great job, you can travel international, and so on and so forth. So the key word is education. So these have been the contents. Had this been a 1 hour ceremony, but yeah, I've been restricted short of time so that everyone could present their views. I would be wanting to talk about AI's role in education, edtech companies and education, AI innovations, adopted learning platforms, the challenges that we should be taking into consideration with regard to the ethical considerations like digital divide, data privacy concerns, and the biasness that have been coming with regard to the AI learning models. And ultimately, the final thing would be the call to action. We should be able to have a good quality of education, right? Now, coming back to the basics before we jump on to AI, which is today's world as we know. First of all, we need to have access to affordable technical, vocational, and higher education. Point number two, that is with regard to the SDGs, it is we all are pretty much learned people, and we understand that education should become affordable to everyone, and not just bookish knowledge, but we should also be training vocationally, right? So as many of us are soft skills trainers over here, I understand the need that we all resonate to, and this should increase the literacy rate, and of course that would overall help in the sustainable development in a fantastic way, right? So, as given in the official target book of Sustainable Development Goals by UN, we of course need to go ahead with the free primary and secondary education. We need to give equality in the access to pre-primary education, middle education, as well as higher education. All right. So I assume that all of you would be having this particular rap sheet, which is opposed by the UN official documentation. I'll not go much about it. I'll directly move on to some of the statistics. One astonishing fact that has been shared by the reports have been that this particular global literacy rate, although being 91%, I astonish about the rate, which might not be that much, but it still says 57 million children remain out of school. So you can understand the the problem statement in one single line. And even disabled people are pretty much educated, The thrust areas that we need to work on are, of course, the children, and we need to increase the skill-based learning as well as earn while you learn schemes. This is my personal recommendation, because students, if they're still waiting till the age of 21 or 18 till they graduate before they can earn, that defeats the whole purpose of sustainable development. I personally feel that just like US and UK have the traditions of letting the kid out once he's into college so that he should be able to afford his own means of livelihood, that teaches the person a lot more than bookish knowledge. So I am all up for skill based and earn while you learn. These two would be the pinpointed pointers. I would really request the organizers, rather Rouser as well as the whole team, to exclusively make one exclusive session on artificial intelligence based education. So, sir, if you could just check out this particular slide. Through AI, we can not just help education or sustainable development goal number 4, but AI today is going to impact every single SDG that we have today. All right. So I personally am working towards this goal on how AI could integrate amazingly all sustainable development goals and help us achieve them with a human value, of course. Yeah. So once someone is coming to AI, they feel that the human values might be lost. But I personally feel that we can tackle that as well. And of course, education is the key to unlocking the world, which is a passport to freedom, as said by Oprah Winfrey. Right. So I'll wrap up the presentation with some of the call to actions. Here are 4 straightforward call to actions, which is for a responsible artificial intelligence using for democratizing education. When I'm saying democratizing, I'm saying that it should be made accessible as well as inclusive. Education should be in such a way that the government and policymakers should develop ethical AI guidelines that can promote literacy rate and help all of us achieve maximum education and literacy rates, not just in India, not just in any specific country, but throughout the world as such. To the educators and the institutions, they can very easily integrate various AI tools in teaching and training facilities. EdTech companies could also design AI-powered solutions which are inclusive, unbiased, and of course are compliant with regard to the privacy concerns. Now, because of various technologies like natural reader, it AI is able to make education very pretty much accessible by the translation facilities as well as various adopted learning platforms like Dreambox Learning, Natural Reader that converts the PDF text into voice so that the disabled people as could be able to get the benefits of education, and learning should not be a barrier because of the specially abled people and their abilities. And we have various concerns that I'm sure we would be able to address. And with this, I invite all of us to check onto the element on how AI can help in achieving sustainable development goals, not just quality education, but for all of the 17 sustainable development goals. Thank you so much. That was Dr. Tanna Agrawal from India, and I'm open to connecting with all of you because, as SDG number 17 says, collaboration is the key. Thank you so much.
Genuine admiration to you, Dr. Gawal, for your insights, thoughts on the transformative power of education. Your expertise has highlighted the importance of inclusive and equitable learning, reinforcing the role of education as a driving force for the global progress. Thanks, Millian. Now, gender equality is not just a goal, it is the foundation of a just and progressive society. SDG 5 Gender Equality. I think we have lined up this session with Rajarao sir earlier on this topic. So, aims to empower individuals and eliminate barriers to equal opportunities to provide us with deeper insights into the crucial topic. We are honored to welcome to highly esteemed none other Dr. Reina Khatri Tandon ma'am. I still remember on my very, very first day when I wasn't even aware about the webinars and sessions. I've seen Reina ma'am was just doing the moderating this our like Vishwa Humanity, and I was like, I want to be host like this. I also want to be doing, and I believe that till now I might have done more than 3,000 of the session. So thank you so much, Rana ma'am, a distinguished advocate and founder CEO, Right to Rise in India and Dr. Meena Sharma, an esteemed professor and head of department at Universal AI University, India. My dear respected enthusiastic queens, the next 40 minutes are all yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madhvi, for being so kind in the introduction, and a warm welcome and good evening to all the dignitaries and knowledgeable experts out here. Let me tell you first by giving you a little disclaimer. I'm not an expert at SDG Goal 5, but yes, I'm a very ardent advocate of human rights, legal rights, and all laws related to the women and children rights. So with that, we'll just get into the informative, knowledgeable session on gender equality. Hi friends, this is Dr. Anna Khatri Tandon, an advocate working into women and child safety rights, the only organization working ISO certified in India towards the areas of SDG, legal, human, and women rights. I'm also a TEDx speaker and an UN and Rex Karamveer awardee. Moving ahead, today's topic is gender equality and SDG Goal 5 that has been conferred to me with the understanding that equality is something that we have not yet been privileged to, not completely. India has not been able to reach at an extreme equal status. We know that the change always starts with us and not with the entire world. So, women rights or child rights, the equality always begins with us and always begins at home. We've always been seeing that disparity is something that comes maybe with the people around us, but I always say we are equivalent to the people in home, universe, society, the knowledge experts that we carry, and also how we are looking at the people in the status, power positions, and the prestigious solutions. Equality is not just about equality that we come at corporate level or at campus, but it starts with a small ideology at home of how we treat even our own people, even our own helpers, even our own family. And it always starts with all the surroundings that we are equipped with. For an instance, even walking through a market and seeing people who are downtrodden, or to probably look at a different gender status like an LGBTQ, we would come with more complex terms in the next slide. But I'll also stop the screen share and share a 1-second video on the same screen with the share of the sound. So allow me a moment, please, to share the sound with you. Equality cannot be complete by having the emotions of people around us. Equality is just not a very big word. It's also about how we feel when we start from scratch. Am I able to play this?
As a girl, I'm expected to be your little princess. As a boy, I'm expected to be your hero. I'm supposed to play with dolls and look pretty. I'm supposed to play sports and act tough. Crying makes people think I'm hormonal. Crying makes people think I'm weak. If I spend more time at work than at home, I lack devotion. If I spend more time at home than at work, I lack devotion. People will question my sexuality if I choose to join the army. People will question my sexuality if I choose to be a nurse. I'm expected to define myself as a boy or as a girl.
Okay, so I think we already have the lesson with us that if disparity has to close, if we have to have a bridge of equality and equity, we have to start with us. It always begins with us, and if we still have it around us, whether it's in India or in the countries across, it's always going to end also with us. So with this, I also welcome you to the goal that has been conferred to me, gender equality. equality will only come together when we have certain aspects in our life. The first thing is to be aware and acknowledge that, yes, we do have it among us. We can't be still with the bubble in our mind that, yes, we've developed equality because we are setting standards like probably providing education to our children, probably setting up our own homes with equal status, but yet not being equal to the people who serve us. Also, equality doesn't come by just the people who are around you teaching equality, but it only comes into effect when we are implementing it consciously in our communication, in an unbiased approach, in a not judgmental way, and also relearning, unlearning, and watching where we are going wrong in terms of setting the standards on the other genders at the same state. So acknowledging, unlearning yourself, relearning yourself, each time also adapting, like we just had the co-speaker saying that, it's not going to be always an old school thought. You have to develop and evolve with AI. So when we are working with gadgets, of course, there will be different kind of people with different kind of standardization in terms of the knowledge expertise. So not to probably put them down, not to make them feel very unheard, not to make them feel unequal, and moreover with money, with status, with other things, and internalizing with emotions, that equality also comes only when we are equal inside out. And finally, integrating in terms of the worlds coming together, the regions coming together, the languages coming together, the different kind of how would I say, the different kind of regions across the globe, like the APAC regions, the people with different looks, the people with different um, different countries, and many more. So we already know gender as a spectrum, but we also need to be acknowledged that if we do not know the terms like gender, sex, equality, intersectionality, the different gender biases, equity, diversity, and discrimination, we are not going to look at gender as a whole in depth. So if sex and gender have to be looked upon, we have to be comfortable with the terms to know them as a spectrum. It's not always about what we feel that the women should do or the men should do, because in every man, we also have a woman. We always say when we are celebrating the Women's Day, the Men's Day also has to be acknowledged. And in every man, we have an aspect of the woman as well. Feminism and equality have never been apart. So when we speak on SDG Goal 5, we also need to know that as we're speaking on equality, the feminism element in us also is not always advocated. Being a women rights specialist myself, I always advocate for both men and women rights, specifically vouching for what is right in justice and equality, with opportunities that can be open to not only children, but also the teens and with different genders. So irrespective of the gender and the caste, the rights are to be enforced to each and every sector of the area of people. A lot spoken on the news. We already know that there are gender issues that have been spoken on different newspapers all across the globe, every moment and every now. It's not about being gender agnostic, and it is never equated to women, where we always feel gender is conceptualized with a woman or how a woman feels or how a woman portrays. Education is not equality. If you are talking about equality on how you have educated your women folk in the house or the women folk in terms of the knowledge expertise at your corporate level, that's not equality. Equality, shocking facts, will be about how we are educating ourselves in the morality rate, stopping any kind of old traditions that have been brought forward, like sati and many other things that we follow in terms of the women inequality status, the ranks, the kind of job roles that we are propositioning to the women at the boards, and many more. What exactly?
Meena ma'am is also going to connect with you in the same time. So, yeah.
Yeah. So just about 2-3 things more before we can wrap up. Equality and SDG Goal 5 is also about a lot of areas that we are unconscious about. For example, bias, microaggressions, and stereotypes. It's very important that you don't show aggression to the kind of people that you don't associate. Stereotyping is already something that you have kept in your mind and you have been following as a bias towards certain sector of people, and biases are those can be conscious and unconscious, my friends. So I think the day we stop thinking about others as a man, a woman, or any other gender, or we look upon our goals as to be one for human, then we rise up to the right equality. With this, I want to raise one important aspect of how we can reduce the gaps and apply this gender equality. Look at work-life balance, look at discussing about issues where financial aspects and progression of how corporate and careers can be grown, integrate dimensions of AI, education, teaching content, where there are no biases in terms of the textbook material or the material that you are going out with, and your workplaces, which is safe, free from discrimination and bias. Yes, essential factors which might reduce any kind of gender gaps and raise the equality standard with all research and development. I hope I'm making this much more progressive than what you really think. But one last thought before I show you the last slide. What do you think that might really be? Beware, there is something more that you are missing. What could that be? Let me hear you before I can share that, because I'm going really fast. What is that you have to be beware of? Any guesses? Any guesses before I show you the next screen? The rise of women does not mean the fall of a man. I think this is the first time I bring this aspect in front of a live audience, that gender equality is not about bringing down men folk or the other genders in perspective of the woman. It's always about rising all the genders together, because equality can be driven only when a man feels what are the aspects that he can support the women folk in and around him. And when a woman feels that without the man, there are certain areas that we cannot go beyond being hand in hand. So remember, friends, the rise of the woman does not mean the fall of a man. And yes, I cannot go without giving you something. So if you need a niche clarity session that is completely free from me, in case you are looking at many more aspects to grow, it's now free for the next 20 days in this month before the 31st of March. And I've just come out with my book 2 days ago. If you'd like to grab a copy, which is very, very, very easily available on Flipkart, Amazon, or KDP, please scan the code and get the book on We All Have Rights. The book is just made for every person who'd like to know what are their rights. Thank you so much for having me here and hearing me out. That's Rena Khatri Tandon, all the way from Mumbai, India for you. If you'd like to connect, please scan and connect. Thank you so much. Any questions? There's about few seconds till I sign off. Thank you so much.
Now I will quickly ask to connect Dr. Meena Sharma ma'am, esteemed professor, head of Department of Universal AI University, India. Please, ma'am, over to you. The next 6 minutes are all yours. Please keep it concise. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So, good evening, respected Dr. Rajarao Padigili, Chairman, sir, Professor Samir Mukherjee, sir, and Dr. Caroline, madam, and all the distinguished guests and fellow champions of change. It's an honor for me to address on this topic that lies at the very heart of sustainable development, that is Sustainable Development Goal number 5, that is gender equality. As practitioners and scholars in this field, we understand that true sustainability cannot be achieved without addressing the fundamental inequalities that persist in our society, with gender inequality being perhaps the most pervasive. Despite significant progress since the establishment of SDG goals in 2015, women and girls worldwide continue to face discrimination laws, practices, and social norms that limit their potential and violate their basic human rights. So today I'll be discussing with you about the Sustainable Development Goal. Yeah. And what are the initiatives that are taken by the organizations, MNCs, and what is the growth of SDG goal? What is the growth of level of growth of gender equality, right? So I'll just share yeah. So I'm Dr. Meena, and I'm working as a professor and head of the department at India's first artificial intelligence university. I teach sustainability, I teach SDG goals, I teach diversity, equity, inclusion, and also some AI tools. So today I'll be talking about achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. So, what is gender inequality? It is not, as my previous Dr. Rena, she has already explained very well. So this is a small short video. I just wanted to show you, it's a 1-minute video. It shows that it's not about women biases about, it's all about what we think in our mind, what is there in our mind. How we perceive a woman, though she was capable, she is capable, but then do we perceive that she's not able to park the vehicle properly? Then when these are the targets of 5.1, it is end discrimination against women and girls. You might have seen that there are a lot of discrimination against women and girls, whether it's office or home. So we have to identify, because what happened in the organization, we say, oh, hi, Dr. Dash, 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 how are you? Madam, you are very nice, we are very nice. But when the person goes to home, how he behaves with his wife, how he behaves with his mother, this is very important. So understanding our home, our own behavior is very important. Unless and until we are not understanding ourselves, we are not thinking about what we perceive, how we perceive, it's very difficult to reduce inequality. So the target of point starts from point number 1, that is discrimination and violence against women, and eliminate forced marriages and genital mutilation, value unpaid care, right? Then these are some of the things where I can say that these are the targets, like universal access to reproductive health and rights, equal rights to economic resources, property ownership, because you have seen in India, most of the family, most of the parents, they give their property to their son. So Rina might be aware of this because she is a lawyer. She might be, gone through many cases. So even today, the property is not evenly distributed by the parents between their girl and boy. So we have to think for that. Then promote empowerment of women through technology. As I said, that I'm working in AI university. So how AI can be used to reduce the biases at the time of recruitment. How it can be used for performance appraisal, because AI is a tool. It does not understand whether it's a men or women. It works purely on the performance, what performance is already done. So it measures the performance. It doesn't see whether it's a girl or a boy. Then adopt and strengthen the policies and enforcement legislation or for gender equality. So let us see what is the are there any improvement after when the SDG goals were formed? So yes, there are some improvement. There has been progress over the last decade. More girls are going to school, jobs, leadership positions. People are handling. In my university, 51% women are heading the leadership position. Then they are serving in parliament. Fewer girls are forced into early marriages, and laws are being enforced to advance gender equality. So definitely there has been some progresses, right? Then now let us see what are the benefits of gender equality. When there is a gender equality, whether it's home or workplace or school or any place, colleges, There is a more effective workforce, high performance, high revenue, skill diversity contribute to innovation, minimize the risk, generation of new idea and options. You might have seen the Mission Mangal movie. Even there you can see a woman while just preparing that puris, the chapati, the puri. When she identified, okay, I can use this strategy for fulfilling my objective. So they have some different objective, the different perspective. And interpersonal relationship, people with diverse and connected skills will be more adaptable and resilient, get benefit of new opportunities, better customer service, and many more. So let us see what strategies the companies or the organization are using right now to reduce the gender equality, to improve the gender equality. This is the data from the census that I'm not going to discuss because it is known by, right? So it's all about unequal treatment of people when we think on the based on the gender. So we have to think whether it's a school of office or any place. We have to think that it's not a women, it's not a men. It's about their skill, what skill set they have. Based on their skill, I think we have to give the preference. Then, for example, when I'm talking about the strategies used by the organizations, so first I will talk about the Nestle's increasing number of female employees to increase the gender diversity. Presently around 23% of Nestle's India workforce are women, right? Then, according to chairman and managing directors Suresh Narayan, India in 2015 it was around 15 to 16%, but now in 2022 it is 23%. In India, total there are 7,700 people, but we can see that at Nestle's new plant in Sanand, Gujarat, Noodles Maggie, 62% of the employees are women. So we can see that how the companies are making the policies, how they are implementing there to reduce the gender inequalities and what benefits they are getting. Second example I would like to give about the Google. So diverse employees at Google score the company
Meena,
70.
please try to conclude as we are running out of time.
Yeah, within I'll take only 2 minutes. So we can just see over here Google Diversity and Inclusion Award. Google has got the best company for women in 2020, 21, 19, 17, and so on. Right? The next company is Starbucks. Even Starbucks is working, having 100% pay equity for their employees. Then next I will just jump, Then even Starbucks, 71.3% are female when we're talking about the Coca-Cola. So we can see that Coca-Cola is also empowering women. Many women are there they're in a leadership position. They are working in leadership position. This year also, this Adidas brings the focus to gender equity, right? And their slogan is "Impossible is nothing." Where they have made some videos. It shows that how the women has made possible, right? Then Amazon also taking a lot of initiatives because we are running short of time. I'm not going to discuss all the points over here. So these are some of the success stories. And, these are the links by where I have, collected this information. So thank you. Thank you so much for giving me this platform and all the dignitaries, all the change makers, all the SDG champions. Let us come together and work for reducing the gender inequality. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Immense thanks to you, Dr. Rana Chandan and Dr. Meena Sharma ma'am, for your powerful and enlightening perspective on gender equality. This dedication of fostering inclusive society have truly inspired us all and thought-provoking. It was truly inspired with the sheer that urgency of collective actions toward more equitable world. My dear Excellency, let me tell you that if we have a lot, I understand we are educationists, especially so we have a lot to express. But here the mission is to collaborate, connect with each other. But I request you, and I would love to tell you that I don't have any favorite hero. You all are my real heroes. Trust me for this. And I'm ready. When Rajarao sir is ready, I'll be hosting your separate shows for this. But I would love that if you could keep it concise and we can make it together. And I would love to hear all of you. So clean water. Access to the clean water and sanitation is a fundamental human right and a crucial step toward a healthier and more sustainable world. SDG 6, clean water and sanitation, aims to ensure the availability and sustainable management of water resource to all, To share the expertise on this vital topic, we are privileged to welcome Dr. P.K. Rajput, a renowned pharma business leader and global leadership coach, India. My dear respected sir, over to you. The next 6 minutes are all yours.
Thank you so much. Very, very good evening, good afternoon, good morning to everybody. I am sure my slides are visible. I just want to put it on the full mode, and please let me know whether it is moving or not. It's moving or not?
Yes, it's moving.
Okay, so you are able to see the slide which is there on the agenda, which is of SDG 6, which is all the 17 goals are there in front of me and in front of you on your screen. And it has 169 targets, 232 global indicators are there in that, which we all know about it. Now, coming to the point which we have been given to me, which is basically clean water and sanitation, that is SDG 6. It has come, my slide has come there. Can you, Dr. Madhvi,
Yes,
can you
sir,
just,
yes, sir.
okay.
Yes, sir. It is
Right. So the context of the current situation and the challenges, which is very, very important, because we all know that 4.2 billion people worldwide, they are lacking access to the safely managed drinking water. 3.6 billion, they have the lack access to safely managed sanitation services. 673 million people participated open defecation. So these things are there, and 1,000 children are dying due to the preventable water and sanitation related diarrheal disease. Floods, another part which we all know everything is happening. It is not only in our India, Bharat, but it's happening across the world. So the goal number 6, which is basically talking about it, it has the one goal, 8 targets are there, and 11 global indicators are there. Coming back to the point, which is very, very important, that what is WASH? Because SDG 6, they are talking about the WASH. WASH is water, sanitation, and hygiene. And it is why it has been taken care by SDG 6. It is why, because it is leading to the access to the clean drinking water, the proper sanitation facilities across, and the hygiene practices like hand washing, all essential for the health and the well-being. So that is the basic things on the WASH was there. But why WASH matters, right? That is very important to understand. It matters on our health impact because it prevents the waterborne diseases. It also takes care of the education part through the education. Improved hygiene can increase the school attendance because in many of the places, the children, they are not able to attend the school. I'm talking about the rural areas, not only in India, again, in the across the world. And economic development, which is healthy workforce leads to increased productivity, and of course, gender equality, which is there just now on SDG number 5, we have spoken about this part very well. So there are 5 other targets are there which is directly linked to the WASH. One is no poverty. Second is the again going back. It is second is the good health. Third is again gender education, sustainable cities and communities, and the climate action. So goal number 6 is clear that these 6.1 drinking water and 6.2 sanitation and hygiene are equally important because it requires implementation. And for 6.1 drinking water and 6.2 sanitation and hygiene, the international cooperation and capacity development has already started, and local participation is there across the globe. So what is the target of 2030? Right, this is a very important target. One person cannot make the difference. It is the complete community, complete universe is going to make a difference. And the 6.1, first point is achieve universal and equitable access to safe and affordable drinking water for all. All means this undeveloped countries and developing countries. Forget about the developed countries. Second thing, achieving access to adequate and equitable sanitation, especially attention to the needs of the women and the girls, those are in the vulnerable situation. It is again in the Asia countries and the other areas also, which are undeveloped countries. Improve the water quality. When we talk about improving the water quality, it is eliminating dumping and minimizing the release of the hazards, chemical and materials, which lot many factories they are doing it, and government is taking a very hard step so that it should not happen. And sustainable increased water use efficiency across all sectors. So with this, we are able to withdraw the supply of the fresh water will be accessible to any person across the globe and across the universe. There are some other goals that are also there. Implement the integrated water resource management at all the levels because transboundary cooperation is very, very appropriate. That is basically required. It is not, in Delhi what had happened in Yamuna. So people, they are knowing about it, and it is happening in other areas also. Protect and restore the water-related ecosystem. which includes the mountains, forests, wetlands, and also the rainwater harvesting is there. 6.A, the expanding international cooperation, which our Bharat is already doing it with many of the developed countries and helping to the undeveloped countries. Support and strengthen the participation of local communities. That's why I say one person cannot make a difference, but the local communities come together, they can make a difference to improve the water and sanitation management. So the pathway to a sustainable future, this is one of the slide is there which shows the complete pathway which just now I spoken. I'll not take much of time on this. I'm coming to the next slide. Clean water and sanitation, why it is important, essential for the human health and the well-being. Access to the clean water and proper sanitation facilities is basic human right. Every human, it is rich, poor, middle class, every person have the right to have. Lack of clean water and sanitation, which is again very important because it impacts the socio-economic development. Because if it is not there, then economic development will not happen. And you can find it out very well. The underdeveloped countries, they are suffering a lot, even including some of the developing countries, which includes India as well. Importance of clean water, we all know, is crucial for drinking, cooking, and personal hygiene. And lack of clean water, which people they don't have in the drought area and the other area, that can lead to the waterborne diseases, which we all know, diarrhea, cholera, typhoid. Oh my God, it is so many of the things are there. So, and also it is going to reduce the child mortality rate because child they are not able to, they are suffering with that. They are not able to take the education. They are sitting in the home because they are in the hospital. They are in the different centers. So challenges in ensuring clean water, it is limited access to clean water in many regions of the world. That's why I said underdeveloped country, developing country, and some of the developed country. And contamination of the water resources which are there across. Climate change is another part. The jungles are getting the fire. You know that what had happened in California, what had happened in other places. So these other things are there. Somewhere the fire is there, somewhere the droughts are there, somewhere the floods are there. So all these things are happening across the world. So challenges in ensuring sanitation, it is just now I spoken about it. Sanitation facilities is required. Open defecation has to be taken care, and the culture, belief, and practices may hinder the adoption. So in India, like the way that we have adopted that there is no cultural belief should be there. People should have the proper sanitation. People have the cleaning the hands and all, because COVID has taught so many things thanks to COVID, because people they are aware about it. Importance of sanitation, we all know. Proper sanitation, it always facilitates the prevent of contamination of the water sources, and access to the sanitation facilities which ensure the dignity, privacy, and safety of every person, especially for the women and for the girl child. And it improves leads to better overall community health. People feel very happy. Health is better. They are able to take care from education to the work and any different part which is basically required. So strategies, implementing water treatment process, which again government is doing it, promoting hygiene education, which just now other my speaker they have spoken about it, like in SDG 4, and when he was talking about the AI, again, hygiene education is very important, investing the infrastructure development, piped water, network, sanitation facilities. So national drinking water programs, because what government is doing, I want to tell, Swachh Bharat Clean India Mission, National Rural Drinking Program, Jal Jeevan Mission, Atul Bhujal Yojana, National Urban Sanitation Policies, and National Water Mission. So in India, in Bharat, you can see how many things are happening. It started with 2014, and then it is keep on going. Year on year, our Honorable Prime Minister is working to ensure that every citizen of the company should get a proper water, should get a clear sanitation, and they should be having a good and happy life, which is very important. Call to action, which is there, and I'm speaking on this great platform that call to action is not only specific for India, it is for the entire undeveloped country, developing country, and other places. Government, NGOs, individuals must prioritize, and they should invest in clean water and sanitation initiative, because it is the requirement for all. Collaboration between the stakeholders is equally important. Raising awareness through the education to the lower middle income group area, where people they are not able to understand. So advocating them, transforming the thing, which is very important. So raising the awareness is important. Coming to the conclusion, access to the clean water is a human right. And sanitation in the fundamental human right is there, which is going to have the healthy and prosperous society. Ensuring clean water and sanitation requires collective effort. The government, NGOs, communities, everybody should be there together to provide this thing, which is very important. And by providing clean water and sanitation, we can improve the lives, the quality of the life, which is important, reduce the poverty, and create a more sustainable future, which SDG goals 2030 has made the mark for this. So thank you so much for giving me the time. Special thanks to Dr. Madhvi, special thanks to BJ ma'am, Dr. Raja Rao sir, Vishwa Community, United National Royal Council, and IVRF for giving me this great opportunity. Thank you.
Heartfelt gratitude for your insightful discourse on water conservation and sanitation, sir. Your valuable perspectives have deepened on understanding of the importance of sustainable water management, reminding us of a collective responsibility to protect this precious resource for the future generation. Energy is all the lifeline to the modern civilization, and ensuring access to clean, affordable, and sustainable energy is crucial to global progress. SDG 7, Affordable and Clean Energy, focuses on promoting energy solutions that are both environmentally friendly, accessible to all, to shed light. I'm honored to welcome Dr. Deepak Walker, sir, a distinguished managing partner at Edu Energy Consultant LLP, Singapore. So the next 6 minutes are all yours. Over to you, respected sir.
Yeah, thank you very much, Dr. Madhvi. I'm putting my slides so that I can go fast and finish within the time given to me. Another reason is almost it is getting closer to 11:30 p.m. in Singapore. So I also want to finish fast. Very quickly, I think when Raja Rao and Dr. approached me, okay, they mentioned that with the help of Professor Samir, we are developing a postgraduate diploma in SDG, okay? And here they are looking for the maybe experts who can deliver the various aspects of SDG. So I prepared my presentation based on that, what I would teach, okay, what I would conduct as my course on SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, and rightly mentioned by Dr. Madhvi, it pervades energy for us. Obviously, there are challenges and opportunities there. So very quickly, this is the agenda, SDG 7 dilemma, smart, clean, green learning spaces. Many of you are mentioning about it. Challenges, opportunities, summary, and conclusion. So what I will be focusing, because all of you are knowing about it, I'm not going to state the same thing. I'm just going to share with you that what are the key points I would cover if this course is to be offered by me for the benefits of youngsters and those who are interested in taking it. Obviously, we are going to focus on goal number 7. Yes, there is interlinking. I'm not going to repeat those what I have been there already been covered. I will focus on my aspect. Okay. So in case you're not able to hear me, please do. Okay. Yes, current scenario reason, whether it's developing or developed nation, doesn't matter. Why they need to know about this one is because it's a quest for our modern luxurious lifestyle, geopolitical conflicts. You know what is happening. It is rising population, addiction to oil, or inflation. Inflation is tremendously dependent on our energy. And that is being the case, obviously we need to use the energy management system, ENMS, okay, which is the ISO 50,000 protocol, which can help not only industries and organizations, but also to individuals to better manage their energy use and thus improve productivity. And reason what we are mentioning here is obviously what we have choice. At present, we are using predominantly fossilized one, coal-fired, gas-fired, oil-fired power stations. We generate electricity, which produces huge quantity of pollution. We call it destructive or bakas. On the other hand, if you shift to the clean and renewable types of energy, such as solar, wind, even bio and microhydro, then there is a stimulus scope for apply those critical principles of, okay, what they call science, engineering, arts, and mathematics, STEAM education in clean energy. So through this course, I will be imparting those kind of knowledge and how it can be achieved. how they can do it through it, and I'm going to use that one. And many of you were mentioning about the waste. Yes, we have choice: burn and dump the waste, or convert that waste into waste into energy. There is a technology available. There is a process available. It is a doable one. The choice is again for us. Bhakas or Jhakas, I call it. Okay, Bhakas choice or Jhakas choice. Destructive choice or sustainable choice. That is what we are going to impart to the youngsters so that they now make a suitable choice. Okay, simply. And process is very systematic because by 2050 we want to achieve that net zero shift transition. This is a transition journey towards transition to net zero. So obviously predominantly at present is fossilized one. Using energy conservation and management issues, we can reduce our consumption from almost 100 to close to 60. This is systematic process, engineering process, scientific process, artistic process, management process, and mathematics is involved. And then what you will be saved, they start investing into renewables, so clean energies. And at present, they are talking about by 2050 or 2030, okay, they want to go almost at least 50%, okay. And then at the end of the century, probably we would have achieved major renewable, clean, and affordable sources of energy. This is a systematic process, going to take longer time, but this is what we will teach our students through the meaningful projects. Okay, meaningful projects, whether it's a developing or developed country, doesn't matter. Yes, what does this SDG 7 mentions? One is universal access to modern energy. I just mentioned about it. Increase global percentage of renewable energy, double improvement in energy efficiency. Most importantly, promote access to research, technology, and investment in clean energy. And last but not least is expand and upgrade energy services for developing countries. And they say by 2069, almost 2070, when India also wants to be net zero. Okay. Now, I had a privilege of being at the UAE for the COP28, and there they agreed doubling of energy efficiency, tripling of renewables, and transiting away from fossil fuels. They say they are going to do this one by 2030. And then last year, 2024, it happened in Baku, Azerbaijan, and they say, okay, we'll triple finance for developing countries for protecting lives and livelihoods, adoption of rules for carbon trading. This is another different aspect where maybe we will be able to give them some examples. But there was no progress on fossil fuels. Okay, these were some of the things at the time. So I would like to quickly share this video, less than 2 minutes. Okay, which I will use it for.
Strategies for accelerating energy transition towards net zero vision. The unprecedented pandemic, climate crisis, and global conflicts have adversely affected energy transition goals set at the Paris and Glasgow Accords. The top 3 most significant greenhouse gas emitters, China, the United States of America, and India, have, in principle, set a goal for net zero emissions by the years 2060, 2050, and 2070 respectively. As the world economy attempts to recover from unprecedented pandemics, demand for energy is increasing, and is expected to increase further. Consequently, energy prices and inflation have been rising. While attempts are continuing to address supply-side constraints, they are predominantly focused on fossil energy. In view of almost negligible greenhouse gas emissions and energy security issues, proponents are once again promoting nuclear energy. On the other hand, efforts for the substantial deployment of clean energy resources, including green hydrogen, to address the energy supply, have been made. They are constrained by low reliability, storage, higher cost, and transfer of technology. Measures such as energy conservation, energy efficiency, and clean and green energy technologies in the entire energy supply chain have to be adopted as advocated in the International Energy Management Standard, ISO 50001. In addition, research, development, and deployment of smart, clean, and green energy technologies need to be accelerated. Smart grids, microgrids, smart meters, Data analytics, artificial intelligence, and digital twins have a crucial role in the efficient management of the power and energy sector. What strategies can, therefore, be adopted, adapted, and accelerated for an energy transition towards net zero vision is the theme of this presentation.
I would like to express my appreciation to my colleague Ajay Dhanapur. Okay, one more thing I would like to include. Okay, if given opportunity, there is SDGs predominantly for governments and individuals to take the actions and community. But when it comes to corporate, we need to use the ESG, environmental standard, environmental social governance. Okay, and this aspect I will cover in more details even in another course. Okay, so this is a very important aspect because we want corporates to take actions, okay, in various aspects of this one, and ESG should be part of it. Now we along with the SDG, that is what our recommendation is. But I will leave it to the organizers to decide whether they want to incorporate this one. If you want to incorporate one more course, ESG, I will be happy to do it. Question arises: is Make in India, Digital India, Smart City, Swachh Bharat, and self-reliant Atmanirbhar vision feasible without quality, secure, and reliable availability of affordable and clean energy? Goal 7 is about that. And if you want that, you cannot go without this one. Okay, thank you very much. Those who want to connect with me, I will be very happy to interact with you, learn from you. So this is my LinkedIn profile, and you may join that one. Thank you very much for giving me an opportunity to share with you some of my thoughts and views. And we believe that this course will be very, very useful and successful. Thank you very much.
Sincere appreciation to you, Dr. Walwekar, for your valuable insights on sustainable energy solution. Your expertise on clean energy innovation has provided us a clearer vision of renewable energy can drive economic growth while protecting our planet for future generations. So now a thriving economy is built on the foundation of decent work, fair wages, and sustainable growth. So SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, emphasizes the importance of inclusive economic development and productive employment opportunities for all. To share expert insights on the topic, we are privileged to welcome Dr. Inga Kachurova, the esteemed founder of Teacher Community Georgia TCG. Dear ma'am, the all next 6 minutes are all yours.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. Good luck to all of you. Today, I want to share with you my personal journey in supporting SDG 8, decent work and economic growth by empowering young people through entrepreneurship. As both a school teacher and a college lecturer, I have made it my mission to instill an entrepreneurial spirit in my students, preparing them to become leaders in sustainable economic development. My commitment to SDG 8, I see SDG 8 as a call to action, a way to promote sustainable, inclusive, and sustainable economic growth while ensuring decent work of all. In my work, I break the goal down into 8 key pillars that guide my teaching and outreach efforts. Economic productivity and innovation. I encourage my students to think creatively and push the boundaries of traditional business models. Okay, next, sustainable industrialization. I integrate discussion on how industry can grow while minimizing environmental impact. Diversification of the economy. I emphasize the importance of branching out into new sectors and exploring unconventional business ideas. Okay, entrepreneurs is empowering. Okay, I strive to build confidence in my students so they can start their own winners and drive change. Okay, what I do is my classroom. In my classroom, I create an environmental where theory meets practice. I use real world case studies and hands-on projects that allow students to simulate launching and managing a business. Through project-based learning, they not only develop problem-solving skills, but also learning the importance of uh, ethical practices and sustainable decision making. I make sure that each lesson is designed to empower them to think like entrepreneurs who care about the social and environmental impact of their work. This is my students and your work also in college. Okay. My engagement beyond the classroom. When I step outside the classroom, I bringing my passion to larger audiences through public lecture and interactive workshops. I share inspiring success stories of young entrepreneurs and facilitate dynamic discussions that engage active participation. I also organize programs connecting my students with local business leaders who can offer guidance and real world insights into the entrepreneur's journey. Online outreach and online work also is very important, recognizing the power of digital platforms. I extend my teaching online by hosting a webinar and virtual workshops. I engage with a broader commitment on social media, sharing insights, resources and motivation continues that promotes sustainable entrepreneurship. I actively participate in online forums and discussion boards, creating a digital space where young people can also exchange ideas and support each other. The situation in Georgia, in my country, here in Georgia, I see both opportunity and challenges that make my work even more critical. Our country has made significant strides in improving its business climate and attracting investment, but youth unemployment and that need for economic diversification remain pressing issues. I work closely with local initiatives that aim to foster entrepreneurship among young people, ensuring that my curriculum is relevant and aligned with Georgia evolving economic landscape. I also emphasize digital transformation as a key driver for future growth, preparing my students to lead in any incredible technology driver world. In conclusion, my dear colleagues, I am committed to creating a future where every young person has the opportunity to succeed through entrepreneurship by integrating the principles of SDG 8 into my teaching, both in the classroom and bind. I empowering my students to be innovator, skill leaders, and change makers in our commitment and throughout Georgia. Every lesson, every workshop, and every online interaction is a step toward building a more inclusive, innovative, and sustainable economy. And finally, I want to tell you that I am trainer in many years, but now entrepreneurship trainer, but now I have become a social entrepreneurship trainer. Also, it's very important for me, for my school, for my college, and I conduct training for students. Now they are writing a social entrepreneurship business plan, and then we are waiting for funding very soon. I think it will very God to bless my students, and I congratulate them. Okay, thank you for listening me today as I share my journey in making a real difference for the future of our youth. Thank you so much for this really very amazing opportunity, and good luck to everyone.
Boundless gratitude to you, Dr. Inga, for your thoughts-provoking insights into economic sustainability and employment growth. Your expertise has truly enriched our understanding that how to fair labor practices and economic policies can create a prosperous and inclusive for all. Now we have, it is my closing part. So as a part of the distinguished conference comes to the close, to extend my sincere gratitude to all of our esteemed speakers, guests, and participants for their invaluable contributions. Today's discussion has been truly enlightening, reinforcing our shared commitment to the Sustainable Development Goals. It has been a privilege for me always and always to moderate the session, and how with great honor and utmost respect, I hand over the proceeding with the esteemed Alka Mahajan ma'am, who will continue the leading event with her wisdom and expertise. My respected ma'am, over to you. And thank you so much, Caroline ma'am and Rajarao sir, for this amazing opportunity. Now, Dr. Alka Mahajan ma'am, the platform is now all yours. Gracefully continue the insightful with your gracious presence. Over to you, my respected ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Madhavi. As always, you were awesome. And it's always delightful to be on the platform of Dr. Raja Rao and Dr. Professor Caroline, my wonderful friends. It's amazing to be listening to all of you erudite speakers from all over the globe talking about sustainable development goals, because this is something, and all of you have been sharing call to actions, which I feel were absolutely wonderful, because the more and the sooner we get into actually executing everything, the closer we will get to, our goals. And when we reach the year 2030, which is the final day, then when all the goals will be fully achieved. But yes, I would like to, with your permission, Dr. Raja Rao and Dr. Professor Caroline, I would like to take this forward and move on to Sustainable Development Goal number 9. Good evening to everyone. Greetings of peace, love, and happiness to everyone. It's a delightful honor to be here introducing some of the most wonderful speakers from all over the globe. And I begin with my friend all the way from Croatia, who works in the college over there in the Department of Economics. And she will be talking to us about Sustainable Development Goal number 9, which is industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Basically, our lovely friend, Dr. Professor Nada Ratkovic, will be telling us about how we can build sustainable, resilient atmosphere so that, we can foster collaboration, we can foster creativity, we can foster all things that can actually work towards something and building something delightful, creating something new, but in a resilient and sustainable way. So without further ado, I would love to welcome Professor Nada Ratkovic from Croatia, talking to all of us, sharing her expertise on Sustainable Development Goal number 9. It's over to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you, dear Dr. Alka. Thank you for the invitation. First, I want to, before I share my presentation, I want to thank to Sir Raja, Dr. Caroline, and Professor Samir for this amazing event. This is really very important for all of us. And yes, when we are talking about the SDGs, each one is correlated with others. So how can we talk about SDG 9, innovation infrastructure, industry, if we don't mention, we start from the first. So I will try to make it on the time. So Professor Nada is just a moment. Professor Nada has the opportunity to make this goal 9, industry innovation and infrastructure. As Dr. Alka said, I'm coming from Croatia, from the field of economics, and also from the field of informatics, working at the university and working at a high vocational school. So today it's really my pleasure to talk about this amazing SDG. Dr. Inga talk about the decent grow, and now I will say what we need to do. So we see that here we have this amazing slogan. So for tomorrow, we need to focus on the industry, innovation, and infrastructure. Build resilient infrastructure, promote inclusive and sustainable industrialization, and foster the innovation. So the economic growth really depends about this. There is no economic growth without investments, technological progress. And we know today that we are in the era of AI, and we know that mostly till today, more than 4 billion people still don't have access to the internet. 90% are coming from the countries which are not developed. So how to say, what about the information and what about the knowledge? Professor Nada is here, and I will start with this because in this topic we can talk till tomorrow. So I want to say that AI, education, and research today are marking a transformative development. So there is a big synergy. What can you do today that you couldn't do a year ago? We have a lot of new education trends. Between them are AI, immersive learning. Then we have this trans innovation in 2025. You see here what is happening in the industry. So industry, unfortunately, we need more industry in Croatia. We almost have only the services. So things and the trends, when we say we need to follow this, the personalized learning, lifelong learning, virtual classrooms. So there's a depth in the exploration, and research is crucial. Research is crucial, and we have a lot of questions. So we are focusing, we have what topics today in research we need to do, what methodologies will we use, what applications, what is the impact, and what is the challenges. So the research trends are playing a substantial role, also like a statistics. As our esteemed speaker today said, we need data. We really need data. We need data to make more research. And I want to say that we have this famous David Cope's model, and David Foam's model is telling us about. He's telling us what I do. Just a moment. We have these things. First, how are we feeling today? So we have a concrete experience. Then we are feeling, watching, and it is called diverging. So after that, we are continuing in the reflection, observation, and watching. Then we are thinking and watching. So our abstract and our conceptualization is the thinking and doing, and then again feeling and doing till we accommodate this. Then we have this algorithm, and we know that the characteristics of AI algorithms are here. So they need to be clear. We need to have well-defined inputs and well-defined outputs. And we come to the design thinking. Why design thinking? Because if we don't understand, we cannot explore, and also we cannot materialize that. In the field of innovation, we want to make the prototypes. And when we make these prototypes, we need to test them and implement. The good thing is that we can always return back and make a new prototype. Then we have this correlation. So everything what we are talking today is multidisciplinary: statistics, visualization, and this data science. So how to make a good infrastructure, how to make and how to invest and how to do the innovations. It is all starting from us. And Professor Nada is an educator who is coming from Europe, and we have already this law about the artificial intelligence. We know this technology landscape, and we know this virtual concept and how it is working. But what about the ethical questions in AI? Is it fair? Who is responsible for AI? Who will benefit it? Who decides to do this? And can AI suffer? We have here our great Professor Samir, who is in the field of metaverse. So metaverse is an opportunity he's creating them. So we know that opportunities don't happen, they are creating. And here, if we have this data, we come to this. So Professor Nada wants to only say, I can talk about the smart cities, I can talk about the smart villages, I can talk about many new innovations, smart doors, smart windows. There is no innovation which we are not involved in. With my students and also like a researcher, we are doing a lot of things. But I want to put a point today on the chatbots and the virtual assistants. They are very important. They are today the most transformative innovations. So they are AI powered tools. How they work and why are they important? Because they are highly skilled. We have this technology, and we are revolutionizing everything what we are touching. Lot of benefits in all the fields. So we can say in all industry sectors, education, healthcare, business, customer services. So we have few examples I put, like chatbot.com, AI Magic School, Snapchat. So it's depending about this. We can compare the platforms. Each one have the special features. So it is very easy. I like this chatbot.com because today, when we are doing any project, anything, so according to each one SDG today, what we are mentioning, coming to the strong institutions, every institution, if want and if needs to be strong. So building a chatbot, we can make it better. So the steps are very easy. It is very user friendly. When we use this chatbot, we make the new project. Then we can make. We have many which are finished, but we use the blank template. So we set the chatbot, we make this dashboard. You see, it looks like a mind map. You can create it. You can create anything with this chatbot. So this was one virtual assistant for the administration. You can make different quizzes, anything. The great thing is that you can implement it everywhere, in your website, in all your social medias. So in this field, digitalization for digital marketing, anything you can use here. So we have here today on this platform a lot of experts, like our great IEE educator who was here. So this is one innovation. It can be used everywhere. So we can solve this quality. We make the challenges. But one thing I want to say, when we are more involved in this, we stop communicating with each other. So let us try to use the technology, but let us try to use less, because you see, we can make many innovations. Professor Nada is I work a lot with students with special needs. I'm helping them to bring their innovations on the light. So you see, we are here. This is when we turn into the technology. This is called blockchain, because we are making a system for transferring the money. So you see, without technology, we make the thing. So technology trends in 2025, like cybersecurity, sustainability, and extended reality, or are correlated. So Professor Nada will stop here. I say many innovations today, many new, but we need to, according to our work. So I have I have also the subject entrepreneurship. I'm working with the artificial intelligence. So when we correlate all them and when we involve in the subject like consumer for the consumers, for everybody, we can do anything. So thank you so much for this opportunity. Haha, we are proud on you.
Yes, and we are proud of all that you shared, Professor Nada. That was amazing, especially because you talked about lifelong learning, incorporating all these latest trends, the research, that new, trends in education. Chatbot.com. I mean, you gave me, and I think all of us here on the platform, a lot of insights. But at the same time, you reminded us not to overdo on technology, which I think is absolutely wonderful. We shouldn't forget about that. But now let's move on. And you know what? Ensuring access to basic services, energy, and transportation for all, promoting social inclusion, enhancing environmental sustainability. To talk about this social sustainable development goal, which is number 11, sustainable cities and communities, we have with us the very erudite Professor Ramesh Kulkarni, who is the principal of Atharv College of Engineering from Mumbai. So Professor Kulkarni, may we have you on the virtual platform? A big welcome to you, Professor. I think he is not. No, he is there. Okay, it's Dr. Pradeep Kulkarni. All right, wonderful. A big welcome to you, Professor.
Thank you very much, madam. So just I'm sharing my screen here. All of you are able to see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you, Rajaram sir. Today, actually, I got a opportunity to hear as well as share my views regarding SDC. So this is a very nice gathering. What I can say is the eminent peoples which are actually sharing their views and their ideas how it is possible to achieve the goals, which are much more essential for the human beings to sustain their the ability as well as his life. Okay, so today I'm actually sharing my views regarding the sustainable cities and the communities. Just a minute. Okay, so it's a very much so that the sustainable cities and rather I can say that the cities are the futures of global living. See, without that the proper living areas, without proper the cities or the towns, it is not possible to have a wonderful life in our future. Not only future, even in our previous also. The world population around 8 million, which is actually estimated in 2022, is actually living in urban areas. Okay, so the figure only expect this particular, okay, so that the figure is going to get expecting increase is going to increase around 70% of the population is going to get moving towards the cities in 2050. It means that approximately 30% of this the whatever the total population what we are saying is actually living in uncomfortable areas and uncomfortable city situation, like what we are calling them as a slum or slum like conditions. Okay, so this particular percentage may going to get increased approximately 20% in next around 30 years. So just to imagine
So the comfort, what actually we are expecting and what actually it is going to get there. So we can say that by seeing this particular figure that the development of the cities and once again the people which are actually moving towards the urban areas is going to get increasing it here. However, many of these cities are not ready for its rapid urbanization. It means that the whatever the cities actually get developed here during this particular area, and that presently what actually we are also living it here, they are not ready to accept this particular change. So, and it and once again we can say that the affordable, we can say the housing infrastructure and the services what actually it is supposed to be, and what actually it is expected by the people those who are actually living in this then in that particular cities are also going to get increasing here. So which, if I'm not going to get together plan it properly, then which leads to rise in a slum or the slum like conditions. So the major important point is that the planning is once again is very much essential for providing a comfortable life for the human beings. So the major important limitations which are going to get offered, why actually it is not possible to, I mean, the provide much more than needed facilities. So the urban provide air pollution and limited open public space available in the cities. These are the major three important point what I want to discuss here. So the first point, where actually it is described as the unrestricted growth in many urban areas, housing, commercial development, and the roads or large expansion of the lands, concern to every does urban planning. So what it means that the unplanned, unstructured development, what it is going to get offered for the areas or the cities, that is once again the one of the major important to consider the challenge for the providing the sustainable consider the or a comfortable life in the cities. See, one of the best example what I can say based on my knowledge is that in Mumbai actually we are having a planned city what we are referring to the New Bombay. So in New Bombay it is actually get developed by government or a non-government together the organization actually it is a CIDCO. So in this particular way actually each and everything is going to get planned. So in each area, it is get divided into a number of sectors, and each sector is actually they are studying it. What actually there is requirement. They are providing the once again the playground. They are providing the post office. They are providing the hospital. They are providing once again the school and colleges and so on like that. So whereas the cities in the Mumbai, once again I'm referring, let us consider the Dharavi, where actually it is a once again unplanned, you can say that the development is going to get occur. We are not able to get a proper roads, we're not able to get a proper house, we're not able to get a once again the proper facilities what actually they are needed for the development of this one. So that is why the spreading of unstructured growth is one of the major important challenge. So usually it is generally characterized by discontinuous, haphazard, and uncoordinated and unplanned or the poorly planned urban development. So because as I already covered this particular point by giving an example, so by using this you can say that if the planning is not there, then cities are not going to get developed in a proper fashion. So moving to the next point, that is next one is actually the pollution, that is the air pollution. So here the pollution in generalized manner, what I can say, the pollution is once again the another important the problem what actually we are getting for the development cities, especially when we are calling it as a generalized manner. Air pollution is one of the major important. In addition to that one, we are also having the pollution like a sound pollution, water pollution, and so on like that. So concern to consider the city's major important one is actually the air pollution, which is going to get leads to a lot of the hurdles and a lot of problems for the people which are actually staying in that particular area. So the impact of the unplanned development is actually affecting the lot of the SDGs which are already we discussed it here. So it is going to get affecting the economy. It is affecting once again the health. It is affecting once again the pure quality of the water and so on like that. If the water pollution is going to get increased, then it is also once again affecting the
this particular SDC. So that is why the providing, okay, so that the ones that the unpolluted circumstances, unpolluted, okay, so that the area surroundings in the cities is very much essential. So as far as the air pollution is concerned, there are number of cases that the factors which are contributing in this particular one. Major contribution, what I can say is that industries and the motor vehicles. Okay, so when the city is going to get developed unplanned, okay, so that the road and other transport facilities are not properly planned, then the motor vehicles and once again the whatever the carbon percentage which is going to get contributed by this, because the transport vehicles are going to get increasing it here. In addition to that one, if I am not going to get bifurcating or separating, okay, so the industrial areas, then that one is also industrial area for the residential one, then that one is also once again going to get generating a lot of hurdles for the people those who are living in that particular areas. So that is why sustainable development cannot be achieved without significantly transforming the way of space which built in the built according to the requirement. Okay. Just a minute. Without significantly transferring the way urban space are built and managed. Okay, so that is why the planning is very much essential for that the achieving the best cities and the best living condition for the peoples. The next one of the major important problem, or so the question what it is going to get addressed is why cities are not future proof yet. It means why actually the cities are not yet actually developed according to our wish or what we are actually discussing here. See, the most of urban growth is taking place in the small cities and intermediate towns, exacerbating inequalities and the urban priority. So it means that actually the development of the cities are going to get taking place wherever the lands which is going to get available. So when I'm giving the example of the new Bombay cities, now it is going to get extending like anything. The whatever the small towns and the whatever the small the areas which are there surrounding to that one, they are all actually get developed without any sort of a planning. Okay, so that is why the intermediate towns and other the small cities are going to get developed like anything, which is actually going to get least the major important problem. So in around in 2020. An estimated 1.1 million urban residents lives in slum or slum-like condition. It means that so even though the cities are going to get developed, even because of the once again the unplanned and then once again the unrestricted manner development of the cities, the slums number of the people which are living in the slum-like conditions is going to get increasing. Okay, so this may be going to get extending 2 billion people around next 30 years, what actually the statistically it is going to get estimated. Okay, so the next point what I want to discuss is some of the most processing challenges cities are facing. What are the most important because of the challenges what the cities are going to get facing it here? So the first one is the so inequality and the levels of the urban energy that the urban energy which is going to get consumed by the urban areas. So as the people which are going to get moving towards the cities, we are already discussed it here. So when the peoples are going to get increasing, then obviously the requirement of all the things, that is including energy, water and all other things, are also going to get increasing. See, the usually what the based on certain statistics that cities occupy just 3% of Earth's land, but occupy nearly 60 to 80% of the energy consumption. So it means,
Dr. Kulkarni, may I just interrupt? It's 7 minutes, just to remind you of the time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Indeed, it's wonderful.
The cities are more affected by the climate change. That is the once again the disasters are also going to get, that one is also going to get facing the problem for the development of the cities. Okay, so the next one is actually requirement of that is requirement of the development plan. One thing that as I already discussed this particular one. So planning is very much essential, and without planning, it is not possible to provide the proper proper living for the sustainable practices. So the most the cost is the minimum in comparison with the benefits. For example, there is a cost of creating a functional public transport network, which is actually benefitable for the reducing the what I can say that the pollution what is going to get occurred because of this transport one. Okay, so sustainable, and then the next you can say that directly I'm going for can say that the 10 major important points what actually they are going to get faced for the sustainability of cities and comfortable life in the cities. First one is the safe and affordable housing, which are sorry, which is much more essential for living a comfortable life. Second one, affordable and sustainable transport system, which is once again much more essential for reducing the pollution and all other things. So the third one is that the inclusive and sustainable urbanization. So this is actually the how much areas are going to get required per person and all other things are supposed to be get calculated, and based on that one actually the planning is supposed to be done. The fourth one is the protect the world culture and the natural heritage. When we are developing cities, we are supposed to protect the culture of that particular area and the natural heritage which are there. And the fifth one is reduce the adverse effect of the natural disasters. And the sixth, reduce the environmental impact of cities. So when actually we are developing, we are supposed to take care of the environment which is supposed to be maintained with a little, you can say that the affecting because of this one. Provide access to safe and the inclusive green and the public areas. And the next one is that the strong national and the regional development planning, implement policies for inclusion and resource efficiency and the disaster management is also supposed to be there. Support the latest development countries and unsustainable and realistic buildings. Okay, so these are the some major important, you can say the point what we are supposed to remember when actually you are developing. So the major agenda for 2030 is that so the promote a future of cities and the human settlement that are environmentally sustainable and relentless, socially inclusive, safe and violence free, and economically productive, while territorially connected with and contributing towards sustainable rural development and the properties. Okay, so we try to consider achieve this one, and with this little some ideas what actually I am getting it here. So thank you very much, and all together build a good cities, and because of the good cities we are able to develop a good nation. Thank you very much.
A big thank you to you, Dr. Kulkarni. You are absolutely right. For all of us to survive and prosper, we need new intelligent urban planning. And I would say we need to also shift our mindset. Well, thank you so much for all those expert perspectives. It's now time to talk about reducing the ecological footprints, sustaining the livelihood of current and future generations, and also reducing poverty. But how? This will happen through SDG goal number 12, which is responsible consumption and production. And for this, we have our expert speaker, Dr. Pradeep Kulkarni, who is the consultant and trainer in productivity. Dr. Pradeep Kulkarni, the next 7 minutes are completely yours. I see you. If you could just switch on your video as well as turn on your mic.
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Welcome, Dr. Pradeep.
Good evening to all. At the outset, I sincerely thank Dr. Raja Rao, CEO, and all other team members for giving me an opportunity to present in front of this audience. We are going to discuss something about responsible consumption and production, SDG point number 12. I have divided this into two parts. One is the consumption part and the other is the production part. Whenever you talk about this SDG, it is talking about minimizing the impact on the environment, and it should cater the need of the present consumption as well as future requirements. And United Nations has included a very broad terminology in terms of efficiency, infrastructure, waste, green and decent jobs, and better quality of life in sustainable consumption. That is what the areas which trying to be encompasses in this. So a very simple and well-known, quite popular technique of 4R of sustainable consumption we are going to discuss. The first is refuse. We have to say no when really we want to say no. And because of number of constraints, sometimes we have a attitude of saying yes when I really want to say no. For example, whenever we don't need things, we should be able to say no. The best example popularly given everywhere is the plastic bags. So wherever we go, if you remember our childhood days, nobody was using plastic, and nowadays every day everybody is asking for a plastic bag. So unwanted materials, and including some food items and the gift items. Whenever we go for the public parties or even a lunch or a dinner, we see a lot of wastage. And definitely we know that we are not going to consume that much of quantity, or really we don't know some of the dishes which really never like at all. But still we take it and then we waste it. The second is reduction. If it is not possible to refuse, at least try to reduce it. The reduce is the second part. Wherever unnecessary material and things are there, those have to be reduced, especially non-biodegradable substances and similar things. The third one is reuse. Whenever refuse and reduce is not possible, we have to go for reusing. And there are a lot of techniques. I am working on a lot of projects about this 4R and then consumption reduction areas in some of the colleges and some of the companies also. The third one is reuse. Wherever possible, we have to reuse it, and reusing in terms of manufacturing, in terms of cycles, and in terms of productions and services. Next is recycle. This is the last option. Wherever we talk about a product and product life cycle, we generally think about recycling percentage of all those things. And when it comes to the responsible production and services with minimum inputs, less and sustainable energy, effective waste management, minimum harm to environment, and effective water and soil and sound management. These are the various aspects, various parameters when you consider about the production aspect of it. Nowadays, we are talking about a concept called as net zero, where everybody is talking about reducing all these inputs. So these are one by one are given into the last slide of conclusion. In short, these two R's, consumption and production, are related to each other, where we are talking about getting more with less resources. One of the major items of all the resources inputs is the food item, where we have studied a lot and we have a lot of research available with the database, that is balancing of vegetarian and non-vegetarian food consumption. It is a phenomenal behavioral pattern that non-veg consumption is increasing excessively very high, whereas it is not at all required to that extent. So therefore, even United Nations have told that we have to reduce the consumption of non-veg food by at least 50%. Even including the same in terms of vegetable foods also, we have to think of 50% food wastage per capita. Reduce wastage of hazardous chemicals and garbage by 50%. I have been working with some of the associations, with some of the municipal corporations, where the challenge is to manage the garbage, and we are managing solid waste management. We have applied some ISO certifications and other certifications for those garbage management, where we have classified the garbage into a variety of segregates like plastic, papers, and then hazardous chemicals, then wet garbage, dry garbage, and so on and so forth. So a lot of things we have been doing. And then whenever it comes to wet, we are trying to have either a composting or a bioenergy. Whenever it is a dry waste, we are trying to convert it into recycle and then creating a value chain. Whenever there are hazardous or chemical wastages or e-wastages are there, Government of India has given a lot of statutory and regulatory guidelines, and the government has appointed some fixed agencies to deal with these e-waste and hazardous chemical waste. We are doing that also. And finally, I would like to talk about something about the policy called as net zero. I have been involved into some net zero project with some companies. It's a very challenging field, and I appeal to all of you at least to work on these areas. The first challenge is net zero requirement in terms of energy, in terms of water, in terms of the net zero carbon emissions, in terms of net zero wastages, and so on. So if you take one by one, what is net zero energy is that whatever energy requirement is there for my household application or for my industrial application, that has to be generated through non-conventional energy resources like the tide energy or solar energy, where my requirement of energy from outside agencies of the grid will be zero. That is the meaning of net zero. If you talk about net zero water, I have to have the water management in such a manner that I use the recycling of the water processed like STP, NTPs, or I use the entire water harvesting, and then I can use the rainwater harvesting and create my needs. There are some cities also now where their net zero water requirement has been built up. When you talk about the net zero garbage, we have to separate the garbage into 5 to 6 categories and see that net garbage moving out of my campus should be zero. The meaning of net zero is I will not give any hazardous or any damage or any harm to the environment, to the local stakeholders, or to the society. And now some companies have moved ahead and they said that instead of net zero, we have to think of net positive, where I will create excess energy required than me, and then probably I can cater some additional net energy required by the other organizations. That is what the meaning is. Net zero carbon. The next point of the discussion will be net zero carbon. The carbon emissions which my organization or which my household appliances are creating, that should also have an effect of net zero carbon content, where we are talking about the concept of green building. There are many concepts which are coming to refrigeration and conditioning, RACs, HVACs, where we are talking about net zero as a additional new tool as such. So that was one more aspect. And then my favorite topic, I will conclude with it, that whenever we're coming about the food wastages, responsible consumption and responsible production, it has been proved that the non-veg items, we create a lot of ecological unbalances. So we have to start with a target of reducing the non-veg food items, and it has been proved that 1 kg of non-veg generally consumes 50,000 liters of water. And it is always said that our planet can take full care of the need of each and every animal and each and every human being on the earth, on the planet, but it cannot cater the greed of everybody on the planet. When we are talking about greed, it is at the cost of some other poor nations and poor countries. So with this, probably I will like to conclude my speech. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And you were talking about non-vegetarian food. I think that was absolutely right. And there are some countries, they are working on this, so they try to ensure that everybody gets into vegetarianism. And what they do is they sell products in stores which are half the price, so that everything gets sold off and nothing goes waste. I think we all need to learn a lesson or two from those countries, because that's the way forward. Thank you so much, Dr. Pradeep. It was an excellent take on all the 4 R's. And now, after this, let's move on to something more crucial and, again, very important. Healthy oceans. Healthy oceans are essential for human life. Oceans provide food, job, and other benefits, and they also regulate the climate. Now, for this topic, which is SDG 413, I'm sorry again, SDG 5. I'm sorry, we are going to be talking about life below water. And for this, we have all the way from Brazil, Professor Wilma, who is the Global Coordinator, Global EduLeaders Forum from Brazil. She's also an international speaker and a lovely human being. Welcome, Wilma. It's been a long time.
Hi, Dioka. It's a long time no see. Miss you. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Raja, for having me here. It's a great, great pleasure. So let's talk a little bit about protecting our oceans. Can you see my presentation?
Yes?
Yes, my
Yeah,
dear.
we can
You
see.
can
Okay.
see.
Thank you
It's
so much. So I'm Vilma Barbosa from Brazil. And as I said before, it's a great pleasure to be here talking about this topic that is something that I really love talking about and working on projects about that. So today I'll be talking about SDG 14, Life Below Water, and preserving our oceans for a sustainable future. Our oceans are vital for life on Earth. This presentation will cover then the SDG 14 and its importance. I'll be talking about an important project that we have here in Brazil, because much more than just talking about, I like to show what we have been doing to in real life make the things going on and happening to have a better future. So SDG 14, Life Below Water. SDG 14 especially focus on conserving and sustainably using our oceans, seas, and marine resources. This goal recognizes that healthy marine ecosystems are fundamental to human survival and well-being. Oceans can not only provide food security for billions of people, but they also regulate our climate, as Alka said before, generate oxygen, absorb carbon dioxide, and support incredible biodiversity. By protecting these vital water bodies, we safeguard both planetary health and human prosperity. The urgent state of our oceans. Ocean pollution. Pollution threatens marine life and ecosystems. Plastic waste and chemicals are major concerns. Maybe there in your country you can see that there are many things that people throw in the water. And here in Brazil, it's not different, unfortunately. Another problem is overfishing. Unsustainable fishing depletes fish populations. It damages marine habitats. And climate change. Rising temperatures and oxidation harm marine life. Coral bleaching is a visible effect. So, key targets of SDG 14: reduce marine pollution, address the growing crisis of plastic, waste, and nutrient pollution affecting our oceans and marine life, protect marine ecosystems, protect and restore vital marine habitats like coral reefs that support diverse ocean life, and prevent overfishing. There are millions of people who survive from fishing, but we have to make the laws more strict and follow them. Because here in Brazil, for example, there are many rules that say that in some months you can't fish, but people depend on fishing to survive. So unfortunately, they don't follow the rules. Implement effective regulations and management practices to prevent overfishing and ensure sustainable seafood harvesting. Addressing ocean acidification. What is this? So, the ocean absorbs carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. This leads to increased acidity. Oxidation harms marine life, especially shellfish and coral. So, SDG 14.3, minimize acidification, reduce carbon emissions is crucial. Sustainable practices can mitigate the effects. Monitoring and research is essential. So we have been talking about all the SDGs, and they are 17, 18 in total, and they have to work together because some of them talk about preserving the earth, preserving the water and the ocean. And when we work with all of them together, we can have a better future. Sustainable fishing practices. So as I told before, regulation is the key for that. Implement and enforce fishing quotas. Promote selective fishing gear. This minimize bycatch and enforcement. Combat illegal unreported fishing. Support local fishing communities. Conserving coastal and marine areas. Marine protected areas. Establish and manage MPAs effectively. These areas protect marine biodiversity, ecosystems restoration. Restore degraded coastal habitats. This includes mangroves and seagrass beds. Sustainable tourism. Promote responsible tourism. This reduces impact on marine environments.
And this is something that here in Brazil, we are really worried about. The areas where there are the beaches, and then there are many laws and many talks with the tourists about protecting the environment, not throwing trash on the floor, and there are fines for the ones who throw trash on the floor. So this is a way that we found to protect the environment and our world. Global efforts and solutions, UN policies. The UN, the United Nations, promote ocean conservation through various initiatives, innovation, biodegradable plastics, reduce plastic pollution, and restoration. Coral reef restoration projects help revive damaged ecosystems. And I am so happy that from now on, I am part of the UN since I was chosen as one of the UN representatives, and I will be working there with the SDGs and helping them with UNESCO about working in schools with the SDGs and helping them in the communities, teaching the kids how to make the SDGs a real thing, because they have heard about that, but they don't know what to do. And then with real projects in their schools, in their communities, they will learn how to make it real. They will learn in their small communities how to work and help the planet. And it is very crucial that we teach our kids how to protect our planet, because they are our future, aren't they? The whole of individuals. So what could we do? Reduce plastic, sustainable seafood, educate others, and this is where the projects in school are so important. We have to teach our kids, since they are very small, to protect the environment, to separate the trash, to teach them at school in order when they arrive home, they teach their parents what to do. And we as teachers and educators, we have a very important role here. And let me tell you a little bit about one important project that we have here in Brazil, and I will share a link with you, then you can read more about it. I guess you have heard about the project Tamar here in Brazil. This one impactful project in Brazil, it's called Tamar. This initiative focuses on marine conservation, particularly the protection of sea turtles, which are vital to ocean ecosystems. So the project is protecting Brazil's marine life. It was founded in 1980. The main goal, conservation of endangered sea turtles along Brazil's coastline, and coverage over 1,100 kilometers of coastline with multiple researches and conservation bases. So this project consists on protecting the turtles, and many of them are damaged most of the times by sheep, by people, and then the project collects the ones that are hurt. They help them get better and put them back in the ocean. It's a very important project. Key actions and achievements: sea turtle protection, so monitoring and protecting nesting beaches, reducing bycatch of turtles in fishing nets by working with local fishers, rescuing and rehabilitating injured turtles, that was I told before. Community involvement and education, training local communities in sustainable fishing practices, raising awareness about the ocean conservation through education programs, ecotourism initiatives that provide alternative livelihoods to fishermen. So marine ecosystem conservation, reducing pollution by promoting responsible waste disposal, supporting research on marine biodiversity, and advocating for stronger marine protection laws in Brazil. And the impact: saved thousands of sea turtles from extinction, reduced illegal fishing and poaching of marine species, created sustainable income opportunities for local communities. How this supports the SDG 14? Project Tamar aligns with SDG 14, Life Below Water, by protecting marine biodiversity, promoting sustainable fishing, and reducing ocean pollution. And there are many projects in schools that helps with this project as well. And the last part, a shared responsibility for a sustainable future. Protecting our oceans is a shared task. Policymakers, industries, and individuals must act. Small actions can contribute to SDG 14, like our project Tamar here in Brazil. Together, we can preserve our oceans. We can create a sustainable future for all. Together, each one working in their communities. This is something that I always say, that we want to change the world. And this seems like an impossible thing. But when we work with small actions in our communities, we can together save the world. We here in Brazil, in India, in Georgia. So if each of us do our part, together we're going to have a better future. And for sure, we're going to achieve the SDGs till the year 2030. That's all for me. Thank you so much for having me. Again, it's always a pleasure being here. Thank you for the opportunity.
Great, Professor Wilma. Absolutely well said. No water, no life, no blue, no green. Actually, it's a shared responsibility for all of us. And if we all could do something like Project Tamar, which you shared, which is happening in Brazil, again, if everywhere all over the world people started doing this, we would help a lot, especially in this life below water goal. So let's all work together, as you said, and thank you for reminding us. Yay.
Thank you.
Well, now moving on from life below water, let's move on to life on land. Talking about the depletion of forests, deforestation and other species. Talking about all this, we have with us an expert speaker, Dr. Sujata Singhi, who is a best-selling author, a TEDx speaker, a certified and licensed life coach. And she will be speaking to us about SDG 15, Life on Land. Dr. Sujata, the next 7 minutes are completely yours.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rajarao and Caroline ma'am, and all the esteemed speakers. It was indeed very enlightening to hear all of you speak, throw light on the SDGs, which are very, very important to keep man on earth alive. So before I start, I would like to start with the concept of, if bees disappear off the planet, then man would only have 4 years to live. And with no bees, no pollination, no plants, no animals, and so no humans. But if human life disappears from Earth, all lives on Earth will thrive. What an irony. And that is exactly what we are doing. We have not been able to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of the terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage our forest, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation, and halt the biodiversity loss. It's very unfortunate that the data shows that we have lots of things on our plate which needs to be rectified. The objective of life on land is to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, halt and reverse land degradation, and halt biodiversity loss. Data shows that 13% of all the countries across the world have been contributing to this loss. And of this, again, the number 13 comes in with more than 500 threatened species of plants, birds, mammals, and fish as per the UN Environment Program. That means on year, we are losing a part of our land, losing a part of the biodiversity, the ecosystem, and also we are losing prosperous living for ourselves as well. Worldwide, nearly 25 million square kilometers offers opportunities for restorations. The question, are we doing it? 300 to 350 million people, half of them indigenous, almost entirely dependent on forests for their subsistence and sustainability. Rural livelihood near forested areas in Africa and Asia derive 20% of their income from the forest sources in the form of food, fodder, energy, medicine, or house building materials. This is non-cash contribution or the hidden harvest, which is extremely contributory and important for their lives, with people living in extreme poverty. Coming to this, we need to understand that it's time for us to wake up, because if we do not act now, it would be too late. The example of the times of COVID, when there was a complete lockdown, no production, no activity, all lives thrived. and we saw a big change in the climate. We saw a big change in the sea life. We saw a big change in the way the whole ecosystem was getting reset. However, when man is back to their normal grind of life, we see that the whole of the ecosystem is again going astray. A flourishing life on land is the foundation of our life and on this planet. We are all part of the planet's ecosystem, and we have caused severe damage to it through the various natural activities which we have done in a most unnatural way. So the target is that everyone can make a change, and we need to create the global goals. We need to use, I have put up the 12 targets which we need to create actions upon to protect and restore life on Earth, life on land. First and foremost is we need to learn to conserve and restore terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems. By 2020, we need to ensure, that is, 2020 is the time when the research was done, and it was showcased that in the next 10 years, that is by 2030, we need to ensure that the conservation, restoration, and sustainable use of terrestrial and inland freshwater ecosystems and all their services, in particular forests, wetlands, mountains, and drylands, in line with obligations under international agreements. We need to see that there is uniformity of this responsibility to bring about a reset in the form of lives on land. We need to go back to a natural way of living. The second important aspect is ending deforestation and restoring degraded forests. This will help them bring about a halt to deforestation and at the same time restore them so that there is a sustainable increase in afforestation and deforestation globally. Again, the third important point is the end the desertification and restore degraded land. The time given is by 2030, and we need to see that we combat desertification and see that the soil is again put back into its natural form, natural ecosystem, natural timelines, natural productivity, natural minerals. So all these things have to be neutralized first and then brought back to the natural formations. The fourth one is to ensure conservation of the mountain ecosystem. Land on Earth is directly connected to the land on the mountains, and hence this coexistence of the ecosystem needs to be recycled, rechurned, and brought back to the reset of the natural process. This is to ensure that the conservation of mountain ecosystem, their biodiversity, and enhance the capacity to provide benefits that are essential for sustainable development. The next aspect is to protect the biodiversity and the natural habitats. Like I started with the concept of bees and humans, the importance of coexistence. Similarly, we need to take urgent and significant action to reduce the degradation of the natural habitats, halt the loss of biodiversity, and protect and prevent the extinction of the threatened species. The next most important aspect again here is to promote access to genetic resources and fair sharing of the benefits. This concept was, however, not worked upon much, but being a target of the 15.6 aspect. So we see that to promote fair and equitable sharing of the benefits arising from the utilization of the genetic resources and promote appropriate access to such resources as internationally agreed is very, very important. If we are not able to do this, the concept of do or die would come. And as we had seen during the pandemic, we did not have enough access to understand what is causing a disaster in human life. The next aspect, that's the seventh point, is eliminate poaching and trafficking of protected species. We need to take urgent action to protect poaching and trafficking of protected species of flora, fauna, animals, and also see that the demand and supply of illegal wildlife products is correctly checked upon and penalized wherever necessary globally. India has been working consistently on this aspect when it started with the export of elephant tusk, bear meals, and the lion and the tiger tooth. The next aspect is preventing invasive alien species on land and in the water ecosystems. Introducing measures to prevent the introduction and significantly reduce the impact of invasive alien species on land and water ecosystem, and control or eradicate the priority species. This is again inclusive of those alien species which are grown in labs, which had created a disaster once, and we know that we do not need any more biowards which could be created by the invasive alien species when they invade on land. Integrate the ecosystems and biodiversity in governmental planning. Integrating the ecosystem and biodiversity values into national and local planning, development processes, poverty reduction, strategies and accounts to keep a check on all these aspects, which creates this disharmony and which in fact leads to the final outcome of land on life being threatened. Increase financial resources to conserve and sustainably use ecosystem and biodiversity. We need to learn to mobilize and significantly increase financial resources from all the sources to conserve and sustainably use biodiversity and ecosystems. Coming to this, we also need to have a proper management, including conservation and reforestation, and providing adequate incentives for people to evade from such activities which are degrading the life on land. We also have to see that enhancing global support for efforts to combat poaching and trafficking of protected species, including by increasing the capacity of local communities to pursue them with sustainable livelihood opportunities. When all these aspects, these 12 ways of how we can protect life on land, then I guess if used properly in a conglomerate and a merger aspect, I think with collaboration, finally, we will be able to see not just a country or just not a region, but the whole of the world coming together to bring about life on land being fruitful and not being a menace to all other life forms on earth. On that note, thank you so much for hearing me out. For life on land, if we want to survive, we need to know how to protect the land we live on. Thank you so much and good night.
Wonderful, wonderful, Dr. Sujata. That was amazing. I loved the beginning. I loved everything about your presentation. And you are right. It's a question of do or die. It's high time that we start doing and taking the right action, because the earth is for all of us. We are living and only we can protect it. And we must come together to do that. Brilliant take. Absolutely fabulous. But now let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, excellencies. It's time to talk about peace, justice, and strong institutions. They say that peace begins with a smile. But for that, we need to have transparency in everything that we do. So for this SDG, which is SDG 16, I invite the wonderful Dr. Sunesh Bhardwaj, who is a global motivational speaker and leadership coach, to enlighten us with her expertise. Dr. Sunesh, a big welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. A wonderful greetings to all the wonderful excellencies over this particular platform, sharing a wonderful insights. And I was listening to all the wonderful leaders who are talking and sharing their expertise to such a great extent. I am absolutely, it's my esteemed pleasure to be here, first of all. Without taking much time, I'll directly march on to SDG 16, because we are talking so importantly about all these SDG goals, which is primarily the main focus. So SDG 16, when we talk about a topic which is, though every SDG is important, but I think this is a topic which is very close to my heart when we talk about peace, justice, and strong institutions. So when we talk about peace, what comes to our mind? First of all, we need to be very clear about this. As very rightly pointed out just by Dr. Alka, that we need to be transparent, right? So let's identify that what's the main aim of SDG 16. The goal 16 is all about promoting peaceful and inclusive societies, providing access to justice for all, and building effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all the levels. Now, when I say at all the levels, definitely it's not like I'm going to discriminate from one community to community, one gender to another. I talk globally with each and every single segment leveling up because we are talking about SDGs. So, what is this SDG 16 when very specifically we talk in the education sector? Because I have just picked up this education, though SDG is a very wide concept, but in my SDG second, I just want to discuss more and focused about education streamline area. Now, mainstream streaming education, when we talk about SDG 16, is all about peace, justice, strong institution, is crucial to tackling the various vulnerabilities, including threats from drugs, crime, risky behavior, violence, and mental health, among others. We all know right now that mental health has become one of the primarily key aspect, no matter what, whosoever you are. I think COVID was a real practical scenario which has put us into this whole concept of knowing ourselves much better. Now, let's move on to the very, very important question. Why is justice and peace important? Though these words we all know sounds very simple, but the question comes, do we really mean it? Or do we do something to create peace and justice around us? Now, this is not a single man task. As I always say, together as a team, we can bring wonders. Now, the same concept I repeat here. Together, they provide the foundation for a secure and just community where individuals can live and thrive in safety and security. Peace is the absence of violence, fear, and conflict. It is very essential for the well being of individuals and communities, and it's a prerequisite for sustainable development when we talk about. So let's quickly focus on what's the key targets we are focusing through SDG 16. Number one, it talks about reducing all forms of violence and related death rates everywhere. Number two, end abuse, exploitation, trafficking, and all forms of violence against and torture of children. Number three, promote the rule of law at the national and international levels and ensure equal access to justice for all. Because as I mentioned, we don't advocate for any particular gender. We are advocates for everyone because we talk about equality in each and every single respect. By 2030, significantly, there should be a reduce in illicit financial and arms flow, strengthen the recovery and return of stolen assets, and combat all forms of organized crimes. Subsequently, when I talk about responsive, inclusive, participatory, and representative decision making at all the levels. When I talk broadly about this concept, we strengthen the participation of developing countries in the institutions of global governance. By 2030, provide legal identity for all, including birth registration. And when we talk about a public access to information, we need to protect fundamental freedoms in accordance with national legislation and international agreements. Though there are a lot into my list, but keeping in mind time as a constraining factor, I will particularly pick very few where we as all have something to contribute in a very, very dynamic manner. So, marching straight forward to the leading role of women, because as I mentioned, we all are equally empowered, but then there are gappings which we need to know if we really want to achieve what we are aiming for. So I found though women has been given all sort of freedom, have been labeled as equal gender rights, but still somewhere there are big looping holes. Now, what are those? All the women need to be able to turn to fair, effective institutions of access, justice, and essential services if we really want to fulfill our SDG 16 at a great transparency and at practical implementation level. Without these, instabilities and injustice will spread and discrimination is perpetuated in both when I talk about developing and developed countries. However, a variety of institutions continue to fail women and girls, especially through impunity of gender based. When I talk about crime or when I talk about violence, it's at high rise. Even though the gender dimensions of conflict are increasingly well documented, along with women's wide ranging contribution to peace processes,
women remain poorly represented in formal mechanisms for negotiating and sustaining peace at a wider angle concept. As I mentioned, we all have been labeled to a great heights. But again, the question comes, are we really implementing? Are we really respecting those areas? Or we are still just forging it? Now, on a broader sense, when I talk about whether in global, regional, or national governance, women tend to be underrepresented in the governance of institutions. This is discriminatory, but it is also entrenches gender disparities. During times of, let's say, war and peace, as women's voices go unheard in decision making powers, which is the biggest threat to the sustainability of each and every single goal, which primarily we talk about. Now, if I talk about all these goals, my simple question comes at the practical implementation level, how we all can work towards achieving these goals. Let's talk about the practical sense of it. Number one, I have a simple way. I've worked out 7 simple ways of achieving together as a team and work towards this. Number one.
Excuse me, Dr. Sunesh, you'll have to keep it very short.
I will just keep it very brief.
Yes,
I
yes. Thank you
understand.
so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Number one, you define and align your goals. Number two, you communicate effectively your goals. Number three, respect the diversity and inclusion. Number four, cooperate and collaborate with people. Number five, manage conflicts and challenges. Number six, evaluate and reflect. And the last one is you need to consider what else can come as a complementary or from hey why, because things maybe circumstances may be very unpredictable. You should be mentally ready to take over each and every single situation around you. And on that note, I think this is how we as a team can collaboratively achieve our SDG 16. And once again, thanking all of you, thanking Dr. Alka, Dr. Raja Rao, and Dr. Caroline for providing this wonderful opportunity to share wonderful insights. Thank you so much. Have a lovely good evening to all of you.
Amazing, amazing as always. You always motivate, and that motivational power in you is absolutely enigmatic. But you're right, there is a large segment of society that are still, the access to justice is completely denied. And if we want a peaceful world, if we want a world without mental health problems, then we need to be very transparent. Thank you so much, Dr. Sunesh. And
my pleasure.
Again,
Thank you.
Always highly motivational. And now from one motivational speaker to another inspirational and motivational speaker, a very charming woman of substance, Dr. Seema Negi, all the way from Mumbai. She will be talking to us about Sustainable Development Goal number 17, partnerships. Now, how effective can partnerships be in actually bringing the community, the world together? So I'll hand it over to Dr. Seema. The next 7 minutes, Dr. Seema, are all yours.
Thank you so much and good evening, everyone. First of all, thank you, Dr. Rajarao. Thank you, Caroline, ma'am. It is always a pleasure to be on this platform. And I think this is where I think partnership starts. Because today, if all of us are together, it is one partnership where we know, yes, we are there for each other, we are helping each other, we are learning from each other, and we are growing together. So it is rightly said, sustainability is not a solo journey, it's a shared responsibility. And thank you for being a part of the shared responsibility. I hope my screen is visible, Dr.
Yes,
Alka?
it is.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is.
So to start with, together we achieve more, and that is the power of partnership. I think if we see from pandemic till today, we have learned so much from this particular platform coming together. We started together and each one of us, we are growing together. We know the world is changing very fast. It is so unprecedented. So the best part is how can we become a support system to each other? And that is what this last goal speaks about. When we talk about sustainability, the important factors that we keep in mind is your people, planet, prosperity, and peace. And you can achieve everything if you believe in the last P, that is partnership. So we have to take this partnership forward, and that is why I am here for today. Now, quickly, why partnership and why partnership as a goal? Because we have spoken about everything, all 16 SDG. So why partnership is needed? It is needed because you cannot achieve the 16 goal if you do not emphasize on that. It is where collaboration starts. It is where each person, whether it is individual, government, business person, it is where everybody comes together because they dream about a shared future, a future that is for all of us. So here it matters. Partnership matters, and it matters a lot because each one of us, we are connected. To give you some quick example, collective actions for global challenges, there were over 2.3 billion people. They face food insecurity globally, demanding coordinated efforts. Everybody came together to ensure that, yes, we are there for each other. Same thing happened when technological collaboration was needed or financial mobilization was needed. So any segment, any sector that we speak about, I will not speak in detail because I know all other 16 panelists, 16 speakers have spoken about this. So I'm keeping it as short as possible. So everywhere, every goal that we speak about cannot be successful till the time we do not collaborate. Now, the four strong pillars of this strong partnership is we need to work together on finance and investment because any goal to become successful, finance is needed and investment is needed. Next is technology and innovation. This generation is born with technology. We are still technologically, immigrants or migrants still learning, but till the time we will not learn technology, we will not embrace it, and we will not innovate, we will be stuck to one particular place. So we have to keep on growing with that. We need to work on capacity building. Only 50% of the required funding for data collection was mobilized by 2017, highlighting the need of capacity building in data collection. It is very, very important. And last but not the least, trade and policy alignment. Whichever country we speak about, we need to have this alignment proper. The global partnership helps us grow. There are various case studies, three quick case studies for you. Gavi, the vaccine medicine, vaccinated millions of children, preventing over 13 million deaths. That's a big number. And when we talk about Nestle and Global Food Bank, they donated 140 million meals in 2023, addressing food insecurity around the world. That is some big number. And Project Nurture, Coca-Cola and Bill Gates Foundation, they empowered more than 50,000 African farmers so that they have access to the supply chain. That is empowerment. When we come together, when we are there for each other. So this particular slide is very, very near and dear to my heart because you can see all the poster that were beautifully made by the PG Diploma of SDG training. Now, each one of you here, whether you are an individual or you're a business person or you belong to government or NGO, you are a part of this partnership. You need to collaborate. We need to collaborate because it starts with us. If it's not we who are starting it, trust me, there's nobody else who is going to come and do that. So the future is collaborative, and that is what each one of us have to keep in mind. Alone we can go fast, but together we go far. And that is what SDG 17 teaches us. Because if we want a sustainable and equitable world, all we need to do is we need to promote collaborative efforts across the sector, whichever sector we have spoken about. And I personally like this particular slide, again, partnership for goals, because we need to keep on moving. And the more we keep on moving, we will see progress happening. Progress will only happen when we will move together. So moving together is very, very important. As rightly said by Henry Ford, it is very well written, and I know each one of you know it. Still, I will read it for you. Coming together is beginning, working together is progress, moving together is progress, and working together is success. And all that is needed at the end of the day is success. So, are we really working toward this success? That is what is important. I want each one of you to ask your own self: are you really working towards success? And this is the photograph from the Mahakumbh, which happened recently. More than 66 crore people were there. I think one of the best example of collaboration, everybody collaborated together, right from the authorities to the individual, to the business owners, to the NGOs, everyone. 66 crore people going to one particular place. You can understand how beautiful was the collaboration there. And my closing thoughts, because I know time is a paucity, let's embrace collaboration and drive meaningful change. The world needs you to be a part of that solution. So and you, whosoever is there in the Zoom room today, you are important. You are the one who can bring the change, no one else. And more than just talking, It's we who have to drive the change. And I want to thank Rajarao Pagripalli ji and Dr. Caroline, because you are driving that change. And thank you, Alka, for being the wonderful moderator. Each of the speakers, they brought variety, but at the end of the day, we have to become a combined force, because collaboration is the way forward. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And always I say powerful, succinct, and articulate. That was our Dr. Seema. And you're right, we are all over here collaborating. We're all partners in crime, and we're all working towards a cause. And like you said, if we do it together, we're going to go far, and far we will go. But again, talking more about partnerships and SDG goal number 17, we have with us Dr. K.J. Varghese, who is the Dean and Associate Professor, Christ College Autonomous from Kerala. So Dr. Varghese, can we have you on the virtual stage for the next 7 minutes, please?
Sure. Thank you.
A big welcome to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome, ma'am. Dr. Raja Rao, Caroline, ma'am. So thank you very much for inviting me to this platform to share my thoughts regarding SDG 17. As Seema ma'am rightly pointed out, SDG 17 speaks about, I think I'm audible, right? Okay.
Absolutely. Wonderful.
Yeah. So, SDG 17 speaks about how partnerships, collaborations can achieve 2030 agenda, can achieve all other 16 SDGs. So, I won't be speaking at length, but I would like to share my presentation so that it will be, in a way, telling us what exactly this SDG means and how partnerships and collaborations are quite important. So, as Seema ma'am said, it's a framework aimed at fostering global partnerships to achieve the ambitious objectives of all 16 SDGs. And here, it also emphasizes a kind of collaboration among governments, government sector, private sector, civil society, citizen participation for successful implementation of SDGs. The goal aims to strengthen the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. So, as we all know, we'll have to harness diverse resources, knowledge, and expertise, which are crucial for addressing the complex global challenges. So we have a lot of challenges when we work out with all 16 SDGs, and only if we collaborate at all levels, and when we are in partnership, we can maybe reach this agenda 2030 quite. And let's see what are the key aspects of SDG 17. And number one is finance. So ensuring sufficient financial resources for sustainable development is crucial, as we all know. And for this, we'll have to mobilize domestic and international funds for both public and private sectors. Another one is technology. As SDG 17, we all know we are at Industrial Revolution 4.0, information revolution, and the whole world are now with digital natives. Of course, there are digital immigrants, but the fast-growing technology, fast-changing technology, should transfer the innovations and access. New technologies can lead to more efficient methods of resource usage, as we all know, and that will lead to innovation. So the whole world is now shrunk into a global village, and technology plays a very important part. Another one is capacity building. This is something which is very important. Building institutional and human capacities is quite important in the effective implementation of SDGs. We all know, and we need to develop skills, infrastructure of the institutions, and also I mean, especially that of developing countries and undeveloped countries. Another one is trade. As we all know, promoting fair trade and enhancing the trade capacity is quite important of course, in developing countries. Is very much important for the significant economic benefits, and that can stimulate sustainable practices. Another one is policy and institutional congruence. Effective policies at both at local, national, and international levels are quite essential for implementation of all 16 SDGs. And another important aspect, another important aspect is what is the role of global partnerships? Okay, we see when we think of inclusive stakeholder engagement, see, successful partnerships change stakeholders from various sectors, including, as I said before, from the government bodies, international organizations, non-governmental, that is NGOs, business and local communities. And such collaborations can ensure all voices are heard, both of the marginalized and also, I mean, of course, they are marginalized and hence they had to be brought into the streamline, the main, I mean, what do you call, main area. Another one is shared goals or objectives. Partners must align their goals and objectives with the broader aims of SDGs to maximize cooperative effect. This include identifying synergies and potential areas of mutual development. And another very important area is resource mobilization and sharing. Another one is knowledge exchange and best practices. Partnerships and collaborations can facilitate exchange of knowledge and experiences that can lead to innovative solutions to complex problems. So learning from successful initiatives. See, we have many successful initiatives which can be thought of as examples, and that would help us in a way to achieve all 16 SDGs. But we have a lot of challenges. Number one is inequality of resources. You know, we have the disparities in financial and technical resources among the countries. And of course, again, in the case of developing nations, they often struggle to attract investments, which are needed very much to implement SDGs. So in a way, this is a challenge. The other one is complexity of global cooperation. See, we have the multitude of stakeholders involved in partnerships that can lead to bureaucracy and inefficiency. So naturally, to ensure coherent action among various entities is crucial for successful collaboration. So this is another challenge that we face. Another one is accountability and monitoring. Especially, we all know that partnerships are essential. Establishing clear accountability mechanisms can challenge. So transparency of funding and efforts is necessary to maintain trust among stakeholders. Another one is cultural barriers. Differences in culture and governance sectors can
we have challenge for the time, so I'll just remind you.
Addressing this cultural dimensions. That's another challenge. So, but when we think of the way forward, see, though we have a lot of challenges, how can we go forward with SDG 17, helping all other 16 SDGs for an effective implementation? Number one is to build inclusive partnerships. That is encouraging and engagement from sectors of society, from all sectors of society, especially marginalized communities. They have to be brought into the streamline. Improving resource mobilization. That is another important activity that we like to perform to attract investments through innovative financing mechanisms, including public-private. Another one is enhancing communication, streamlining communication strategies among stakeholders to avoid duplication of efforts and ensure aligned actions. And of course, technology, leveraging technology, utilizing digital tools. We have a lot of digital tools. For synchronized and asynchronized, and a lot of platforms to facilitate knowledge exchange and resource sharing. We have to use them effectively. Now, nowadays, especially regarding technology, to a certain extent, we have a lot of tools, but often we just don't. It's a mindset. Let me tell you, it's not a skill set. Most of us have, but we should have the mindset to effectively use technology to harness all this. That's something important. So as a way of conclusion, Sustainable Development Goal 17 serves as a linchpin for achieving the broader SDG agenda. For achieving all 16 SDGs, or, I mean, as we say, the 2030 agenda emphasizing that collaboration is essential to tackle the complex challenges. We have a lot of challenges in front of us. Of course, we have also seen the opportunities. So through effective partnerships among diverse stakeholders, it is possible to mobilize resources, share knowledge, and implement comprehensive strategies that lead to sustainable development. So in the interconnected world, as we saw, we are so connected through technology. So in the connected world today, the adage, the proverb, unity is strength, rings particularly true, inspiring collective action toward a sustainable future characterized by resilience, equality, and hope. And let's hope by 2030, we will have equitable society where everyone enjoys everything. So thank you very much.
Wonderful. Absolutely. You said that unity is strength. And indeed, with this unified action that all of us are doing, we definitely will be able to reach where we should reach by 2030. We still have time, and it's better late than never. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And now we have our special guest review. The lovely lady from Canada, Mickey Gulati, who is the director of Design 8000 Beauty Academy. Now, she's here with a very positive special review, and we are all waiting for that review. Mickey, hello, and a big welcome.
Thank you so much for handing me over, Alka. How are you this evening?
Very good, very good.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. It is truly an honor to be here today at this remarkable international conference on PG Diploma in SDG training, where we witnessed an incredible exchange of knowledge, insights, and expertise from esteemed professionals across the globe. A very snowy good afternoon from Toronto, Canada. And this is Mickey Gulati, Director of CEO of Design 8000 Beauty Academy. Throughout the evening, we delved into the Sustainable Development Goals. Each presentation offered and was offering a fresh perspective on the challenges and solutions shaping our world. From no poverty to partnerships for the goals, the discussions have not only been insightful, but also inspiring. One of the key takeaways from this event is the power of collaboration, whether in education, climate action, or gender equality. The speakers today have demonstrated the real change happens when diverse minds come together, united by a shared vision for a better future. We heard from experts like Dr. Anna Khatri and Dr. Meena, who highlighted the critical need for gender equality, ensuring that inclusivity, sorry, it's almost afternoon here and very cold afternoon, remains at the forefront of progress. Dr. Pradeep's presentation and eye-opener insights on climate action, reminding us of our collective responsibility towards environmental sustainability. And let's not forget the thought-provoking perspectives on quality education and innovation in industry, reinforcing the need for continuous learning and technological advances in shaping the future. This conference was not only about discussions, it was also inspiring about actions. The presence of so many industry leaders, researchers, change makers proves that we are on the right path towards a sustainable and equitable world. I want to extend my heartfelt appreciation to all the organizations, the whole of organization, including the Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, Chairman Sri Rajaji Rao, for bringing us together on such an outstanding lineup of experts. A special thanks to all the moderators for steering the discussion so seamlessly. As we conclude, let's take the knowledge shared today and turn it into a meaningful action. Let's commit to being agents of change, advocating for sustainability in our respective fields and communities. Thank you once again for this incredible opportunity. Let's continue to work together because the future we envision is one that we must build together. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mickey. You're right. If we need to build a vision, a future that is based on our vision together, we need to be together in it. And we need the power of execution. We need to be walking the talk and not just talking all the time. So absolutely wonderful. I loved your overview. It was very succinct and as always, very brilliantly put. So thank you so much for sharing it. And thank you so much for being here despite the snowy afternoon
We have
in
had a bad
Canada.
snowstorm. We had a bad snowstorm. It was,
I know
we
how
were
it is.
already sitting in a -30s. So thankfully we
Wow. And
see
over
some,
here, when it
yes.
is 12 or 13, we start shivering. So kudos to you for bearing the wrath
Trust me on
of
this one.
nature. Climate change,
My
you're
God,
right.
yeah.
Absolutely. And now, as we push ourselves further, we would have the closing session with the wonderful Professor Samir Mukherjee, who is the founder, CEO, IVRS. He's the founder and mentor of VR, AR Academia and Drone Academia. So, sir, Professor Samir Mukherjee, we would love to hear it from you. A big welcome.
See, it's probably after 4 hours.
Yes.
I don't want to talk much. The thing is, I already have a small note for all the speakers. I thought that I will share this for our future, and definitely we'll do something, something change, some different kind of way we will see SDG. We'll start to work, So many people told us so many things, but we do not have that kind of implementations, concepts, and all this. So my understanding now, what I'll do, I will discuss with Dr. Raja Rao, and I will make a documentation and will send it to you, all the people, that who can do what. From the next, at least for us, from the next meeting, we will not discuss these things anymore. We will just listen what you people are doing, what you want to do. And probably we have so many helping hands at this moment. Big organization, big corporate, big people are with us. I'm seriously astonished that what a kind of a team we have. So let's start to work. And if I tell, I have probably you have checked that I am writing that exactly who said what. But now if I start that thing, you will not like it. So let's stop it. Dr. Rajarao also want to tell something. So thank you so very much. This is, I should say, this is a success. When we discuss that, let's start this kind of things, And he said that it will be very big. I said, let it be. Let's see. So that was the entire part of it. Thank you so very much. Thanks, everyone.
Yes, I am. I was about to call you. Okay, so it's over to our chairman.
But it is within 7 minutes.
That's the best part. Yes, you are. You are.
Yeah, now I understood. Yeah, I was thinking something else. I'm listening to Samir Mukherjee, sir. I was thinking. So I was engrossed. Yeah, it's amazing. I feel that every speaker is with great knowledge, wisdom, experience, expertise, their insightfulness, their expressions, emotions, and the depth in the subject that all they exhibited. I felt very happy because I'm a teaching professional, I'm a professor. I'll be looking at very deeply. So principal sometimes will be asking me to listen to some junior faculty, but here all are eminent speakers, global speakers. So nothing negative, everything is perfect. Really, I appreciate for taking the time. Irrespective of the time zones, everyone are here. We appreciate each and every speaker joining us and helping us to promote sustainable development goals. So this is an excellent Zoom platform where we can utilize it very eminently, as we are introducing a post-graduation diploma course in Sustainable Development Goals 1 to 17. Really is the time to focus on this and we move further. At the end, I would like to add one point that when we work, definitely it will be some reward will be given to us. As Vishwa Humanity United International Royal Council, working on Sustainable Development Goals and World Peace Summit, and we received a great appreciation from Government of India and international. Internationally, we were praised for the works and we received many endorsements from Chief Minister, government, central ministers, and every state governors. We received the endorsements and we received appreciation from national and international universities. And we were invited to Dubai to participate in COP28. And we were interviewed, Rajarao sir and me were interviewed by international media. And Telugu Dubai media also interviewed us. And the way we are taking up the underprivileged community and working for them and for the upliftment of the women and girl child and boy child. So, and really we appreciate them for inviting us there. And we attended even IEEE Global Symposium and we presented paper on slum children, how they are imparting, how they are getting the education, how we were imparting education. So when we work, we will be rewarded. So let us work together for the upliftment of underprivileged community and work for the sustainable development goals. I feel that this is the right platform. We all join together and work for the upliftment and see that we sustainable development goals has to be reached, to be reached to the heights by 2030, that is set by UN. So they have that set framework and we have to work for that. And at our level, it is a responsibility of every citizen to work for sustainable development goals and the accomplishments by 2030. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Ankur Chaturvedi Garu. Thank you, Sami sir, for taking the time and being with us. Thank you once again.
Thank you very much. It's been a long day and I'm very grateful to all of you and especially people who joined from different time zones. I can understand the stretch it must have been for them. But then this is not an easy journey. What we are doing is tough and we really need to roll up our sleeves and get to it. Like Professor Mukherjee, we have a mentor. We are fortunate to have a mentor like him, a diligent member and still an old school professor who believes in pen and paper. So that will help us steer our journey forward. And I sincerely hope that we get this graduate diploma started very soon. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Rajarao, Dr. Caroline, and Professor Mukherjee for arranging this. It's really been a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. You are right that I'm still believing in my pen and paper, but please see that icon. That's an AI icon, and that's taking so many different kind of data. You will understand probably tomorrow, day after tomorrow. So I'm believing on AI. I'm believing on my pen and my own data. Okay.
And sir, we are believing in.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Good luck to everyone. Thank you for the amazing opportunity. We learn a lot for each other and continue really very best work. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Professor, actually, yeah, thank you so much. Actually, Professor Mukherjee and I, we share our acquaintance from years back. Like when I used to be in India, we have our acquaintance from that time. Yeah, again, sorry, my microphone. I said like me and Professor Mukherjee, we shared our acquaintance from way back, like years back. It has been more than a decade, maybe, if not 1.5.
More than 2 decades.
More than 2 decades, okay.
Yep.
So that is how it is. Like we keep on discussing stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No, it's already concluded. And the question is, if we continue more than that, probably we'll not have dinner. They will close everything, and so for the sake of the dinner for today, we have to stop it now.
Yeah, and the
It's
time
okay.
zones are different. Like for me, it's around 6:30 in the evening. I have to cook dinner.
Yeah. I understand all this, but it is seriously a wrong decision from my part. I'm extremely sorry. We should not
No, it was
elongate it
perfect.
so long. So that is one of the biggest problem. We didn't know these things. That by the way, this is our last year IVRF metaverse platform where we enjoy our closing ceremony. The background of mine.
Yeah.
It's our metaverse platform.
Yes. Our IVRF.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Another very interesting point. Okay, it's already late, so let me talk a little bit. There is a huge opportunity in digital sphere in SDG. We didn't have anybody didn't talk a single word on that particular things. But for this digital world, we can do a miracle. First, second is the different kind of software implementations, like analytics and other things. So we will rather prefer that definitely the theoretical part will be there, but people will like to work practically in the entire part. So that was our intention.
If I may interrupt Mr. Mukherjee, this is the thing that Sweden has come up with recently. In University West, we do a program called Work Integrated Learning. I forgot the speaker, but somebody was speaking about lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is basically a part of work integrated learning. what we do there exactly is what you are saying.